Thursday's transfer deadline. But it is the Community Shield here at Wembley Stadium on a warm afternoon. Martin Atkinson is the referee, first referee to take charge of 2 Community Shields since George Courtney, and that is back in the day, who was the leading referee of his time. Sean Massey-Ellis as well as the assistant here, first female to officiate at a Community Shield match. She's on our side of the pitch, the assistant. But the Community Shield begins with Jordan Henderson, the Champions League winning captain, with the first touch in the centre circle, who plays the ball back into central defence. Liverpool in the all-red kit with the white trim against Manchester City in the special kit today, actually, still sky blue shirts, white shorts and white socks, but it is a special kit, round white necks, to mark the beginning of their 125th anniversary season, Manchester City. Liverpool with the ball on the halfway line. Here is Alexander-Arnold, who curls the ball down the line. It's headed away by Zinchenko, and here is the new man, Rodrigo. Is the name on the back of his shirt, but Rodri they call him, as the ball's played across the penalty area by Manchester City, but John Stones was able to back away. Just immediately came to mind flashbacks about what happened in Portugal with England at the end of last season. John Stones, who is being watched by Gareth Southgate, who's in the crowd this afternoon. Ball played back to the Liverpool goalkeeper Alisson, who takes a touch himself and clears it up to the halfway line, where Zinchenko was quite tight on Salah there. Salah went down, no free kick. And now Claudio Bravo, who is playing for Manchester City in a competitive match for the first time since the Community Shield last season. He ruptured his Achilles, the Chilean goalkeeper, veteran these days, 36 years old, but he has the ball at his feet now, and it'll feel good for him, I would have thought, to get back into the action. Long and right-footed from the Manchester City goalkeeper. That bounces almost on the edge of the penalty area. Robertson gets there first for Liverpool, sprints to the byline and turns it out left-footed for a throw down the right for Manchester City, who are playing from right to left in the first half, as we look from our commentary box here at the top of the lower section of Wembley Stadium, with Dion Dublin sitting to my right. BBC Radio 5 Live. Liverpool 0, Manchester City 0. And Manchester City take the throw short. Sterling tries to work his way into the penalty area, but it's blocked away, and it's a throw-in to Liverpool on the far side of the ground. Deal.
See, nothing's changed, City. Nothing's changed at all. I can't believe they are playing total football 6 yards away from their own goal. The keeper's got it, Stones has got it, he passes it out to Otamendi, puts it around the corner. Cool as you like, but we like to see that kind of football. Pep wants them to play total football in every part of the pitch. They've got to be careful though, because Liverpool will be patient and they will get a full press on them.
Yeah, and John Stones is a player with a little something to prove. You know, Vincent Kompany's not around anymore. Talked about whether there might be a new central defender. Today's paired with Otamendi, but he had, in extra time in that Nations League semi-final, an absolute nightmare. Stones now, a long, high cross-field ball towards the left-hand side, where here is Leroy Sané. Sané now, who knows whether he will continue to be a Manchester City player after Thursday's deadline. Otamendi clips the ball to the right-hand side, where Walker gets a touch, but Liverpool are back in possession, and Robertson will play it to Fabinho, who is under pressure. This is the press from Manchester City. 2 players on Fabinho. He's able to play it back to Robertson, and then it finds its way to Gomez on the edge of the area, who's dispossessed by Sterling. Sterling now lays it to Sané. The angle's very tight, and he shoots into the side netting.
Just took a little bit too long, Gomez on the ball there. I think he did get a shout from Van Dijk. His touch was good, but Sterling's reaction to get back and try and nick it off his shoulder was lightning quick. I can just watching the replay. Yeah, Gomez didn't see him coming. He got a shout, but it was late. And Sané, going down the left-hand side, just couldn't squeeze it in the near post.
Just when I was talking about one England central defender being too casual, it happened to the other team, Liverpool and Gomez. Here's Origi on the left-hand side. First time he's been into the action. Now a great hero after his scoring of the second goal in Madrid on June the 1st, when Liverpool won the Champions League. Ball played over the top by Gomez, but that will bounce through for a goal kick to Manchester City, and it's still 0-0.
Yeah, good start from both sides. They both want to try and squeeze high. It's a goal kick now to Man City, and you've got Firmino in the middle of the pitch, right in the 6, the edge of the box, should I say, on the D. Salah to the right, Origi to the left, allowing City to have the ball in their own box, but Anywhere outside that box, they are ready to squeeze.
Claudio Bravo with the ball on the edge of the 6-yard area, plays it to his left, to Otamendi. And now Rodri runs the ball into the full-back position. Firmino putting pressure on him. Rodri went down very easily. Martin Atkinson wasn't having anything of a free kick for Manchester City for that, but City have been able to work it away. Here is Rodri, as I say, number 16. He is tall, Dion, 6'3", and he looks all of it. As Origi plays the ball over the top, Firmino does really well to pull it down, and then turns and shoots left-footed, but Claudio Bravo was well positioned, just took a step to his right and patted it down. I
actually thought the ball was far too far for Firmino to bring that down. It was over his head, he was getting into the box, and he just brought it down with his laces with an outstretched right leg. He turned with his left foot and then hit it on the half volley. Very, very good skill.
Yes, that would have been something special if he'd been able to score that. Pulled it down onto his left foot, but Claudio Bravo will feel good after that. As I say, his first competitive appearance for a year. It was a year ago this weekend when Manchester City won 2-0 against Chelsea in the Community Shield. Sergio Aguero scored a goal in each half. He's on the bench. Ball comes off Alexander-Arnold's head. Now City down the left-hand side with Sané. Sané's cross, though, is blocked by Gomez. He was pulling it back there from near the byline, but it was straight at Gomez, and the ball deflects out of play for a throw into City down the left-hand side. They look the picture of summer, don't they? Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola on the edge of the coaching area, very, very casually attired. Klopp in a light brown t-shirt, black baseball cap on, and Guardiola très casual. Here now the ball on the right-hand side with Bernardo Silva trying to dance his way through. Took a shot come cross low from the angle, took a deflection. It's the first corner to City.
Yeah, City do try and make the pitch big. Nothing's changed from last season, but they do try and spread the play from left to right very quickly, making Liverpool get across the pitch, keep their formation. Corner for City, right-hand side.
Here's another man who will hope first and foremost that he can stay fit this season. Kevin De Bruyne, taking the corner from the right. He played only 5 full matches last season. De Bruyne with the corner over everyone. He was aiming for Stones, who was arriving, but was never going to get there, and the ball just bounces away through across field.
Now, I know exactly what happened there, because De Bruyne, there's 2 types of corner. There's an outswinger that you sort of outswing with the right foot towards the penalty spot, or there's a laces, which is where you take a more straighter run up and hit it with your laces to the far post for Stones. His run up was in between, and I think Stones got a little bit confused. Do I go? Is this the time we do it? Is it not? They got it wrong.
Liverpool with Wijnaldum coming forward towards the halfway line, but this time it's tidied up by Leroy Sané. So it is 0-0 here at Wembley. Liverpool 0, Manchester City 0. BBC Radio 5 Live. Can't be long to go in the Kilmarnock Rangers match. Ready for South?
Stephen Gerrard said that if games finished in 86 minutes, Rangers would have been league champions last year. Well, it's 82 minutes and they've conceded a goal to Scotland full-back for Kilmarnock, Stephen O'Donnell. He was completely unmarked at the back post, rammed the ball into the net. Kilmarnock 1, Rangers 1.
So 1-1 at Rugby Park, as Roddy said, not long to go there. Aberdeen Hearts is just underway, 3 o'clock kick-off. Aberdeen 0, Hearts 0. And here at Wembley, Mo Salah with a really good chance. Firmino slipped him through, right side of the penalty area on his left foot, but he pulled it wide of the post.
Yeah, again for me, Firmino doing that kind of work that only he can do for Liverpool, getting the ball down, edge of the box, making sure that they can retain possession, put Salah in. It was on Salah's right foot, but he tried to take it on his left. He tried to curl in the far post, got it all wrong on this occasion, but he got in again.
Ball played over the top for City. And Alexander-Arnold just to shove in the back of Leroy Sané, who has gone down, and I'm not sure if he's fallen awkwardly.
He's holding his knee, he's holding his right knee at the moment. He seems to be tapping his left knee, studs on the floor, and he hasn't moved his right leg at all.
And he's going to need some treatment. So while that happens, obviously we are keeping you right across what's happening at Edgbaston. It's the 4th day today of the first Ashes Test match. You can listen to the commentary with Test Match Special on 5 Live Sports Extra, on your digital radio, BBC Sport website and app, via BBC Sounds. But it's Australia's day, Eleanor Oldroyd.
It certainly is, and we've just seen Matthew Wade wallop Moeen Ali for another 4 runs, which takes the Australian score up to 322 for 4. Wade is on 68. Steve Smith still there on 135, the second consecutive century partnership. Smith and Head put on 130, and now Wade and Smith have put on 117 together. So it is an impressive batting performance by Australia, and little by little this test match is turning decisively in their favour. 232 runs is the lead, 6 wickets remaining, and England really looking pretty desperate and pretty clueless at the moment.
Brilliant though from Steve Smith, absolutely incredible batting from the Australian. Leroy Sané is still receiving treatment, and I'm not sure how serious it is, Dion.
No, I thought it was more serious than what it was, and I've seen the physios come on, 2 of them, and they were bending it and twisting it and giving it a bit of movement. He seems to be moving now. He's still on his haunches, hands on his knees, bending over. Physio's talking to him. He's trying to walk off the pitch badly, with a really bad limp, but he's moving and he's up on his feet, which is always a good sign.
We're going to get an update from the Hungarian Grand Prix in just a second. I think we will have time because Sané is being led off the field. So let's join Jack Nicholls.
43 of 70 here, John. Max Verstappen is leading the race, but we've just had some fantastic wheel-to-wheel battling between he and Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton trying to pass Verstappen, tried to go around the outside, tried to go around the inside, can't quite find a way through. Hamilton's backed off a little to come back and try and attack Verstappen again for the race lead, and really, it's only those 2 in contention. The other Mercedes of Valtteri Bottas still struggling down in 9th place.
Lovely, thank you, Jack. And you can listen to the usual excellent commentary from Jack and Jolyon Palmer via the BBC Sport website, and we will, throughout the course of it, have regular updates on it. Leroy Sané has had to leave the field. I think Gabriel Jesus is going to come on as a replacement. City take the free kick quickly. Walker's ball to the back post. De Bruyne heads it across, a little flick, and in the middle, Sterling is there, and he scored. The ball is in. It was blocked on the line initially by Alisson, but Raheem Sterling was able to follow up and blast it into the roof of the net. And for the first time, Raheem Sterling, the former Liverpool man, scores against Liverpool. He's done it here at Wembley on his original manner, and it is Liverpool 0, Manchester City 1.
Straight off the training ground, absolutely fantastic free kick. It was played to the side twice. Fernandinho, I think it is, just drops it as far as he possibly can to the far post. Nodded down by De Bruyne, flicked on by David Silva, and there's Sterling, more or less unmarked, 6 yards out. Alisson gets something on it. Sterling makes sure from a yard away, and he blasts it in the roof of the net. That's a really well-worked free kick by City.
Wasn't it just? And that was with 10 men on the field, because Gabriel Jesus now trots onto the pitch, number 9 on his back these days, and Manchester City, the champions, lead by 1-0. Great moment for Raheem Sterling. It was scored at the end, where all of the Liverpool fans are. We discussed, actually, Dion, didn't we?
Yes.
About the fact that Sterling had not scored against his old club before, and whether he would celebrate if he were to score, and the answer was definitively
yes, he did, and rightly so. I don't understand, if you're a one-club man and you've played for that club for 22, 23 years, then you go and score against them, that's different, but you've got to celebrate scoring. It's so hard to do.
So Raheem Sterling, who finished last season here at Wembley, scoring, well, for quite a long time that day we thought he'd scored a hat-trick in the FA Cup final. Yes. As it turned out, it was 2 goals. So new season, same old Sterling.
Yes, same old Sterling, same old City to a certain degree, but a brand new free kick that we haven't seen before. Sometimes when you see a free kick, you may have seen it in the season before, or you may have seen a team do it. I've never seen that one before.
Here's De Bruyne bursting through on the right-hand side, tried to pull it across, but scuffed it rather, and Liverpool were able to clear. So they've had rather disjointed pre-season, Liverpool, after almost all-conquering season last season. But 1-0 down here, and De Bruyne on the right-hand side crosses, but Alisson's able to drop onto it. Actually, for the goal, the initial shot from Sterling, which was blocked by the Liverpool goalkeeper, but the initial shot did actually cross the line. It was a sort of scrambling stop. It was from close range, 4 or 5 yards out. He couldn't claw it out. It was behind the line before Sterling's follow-up, blasting it into the roof of the net.
Yeah, they are getting in easy. just looking at a replay of Kevin De Bruyne there. He's in a great position to pick out Jesus, and he puts it into Alisson's hands. That's a rare misplaced pass from De Bruyne. I think he wants to get them out of the way today.
John Stones playing a ball down the right-hand side for Bernardo Silva, who is sprinting absolutely at the max, but even with a little slide, he couldn't stop the ball bouncing through for a goal kick.
But did you see how the ball was too big from Stones? And Bernardo Silva tried to get there, he slid, he didn't get it. He was straight up again, on his feet, back into position for the squeeze. Very, very hard work.
Early goal for Aberdeen, who are leading Hearts by 1-0 in the 3 o'clock kickoff. Still Kilmarnock 1, Rangers 1. Here's Salah on the right-hand side. Oh, Zinchenko bounces off him. Salah shoots from an angle into the foot of the post. And Liverpool are saying that took a flick and it should be a corner, but it's a goal kick that's been given.
Oh, should he have passed? Is he right? Is he right to take it on? He actually does great. He's one-on-one with Zinchenko, nudges him off the ball, gets in on goal, on the angle, right on the corner of the 6-yard box. And I'm thinking, just square it. Origi's there, Firmino's there, Henderson was turning up, and he goes for the near post. That's twice now. Salah's got it wrong.
Liverpool 0, Manchester City 1. Another late goal with you, Roddy.
Yes, indeed. We're into injury time here, and Rangers are back in the lead. And this time it was Connor Goldson rising in midst a congested penalty area to a corner kick, bulleted header, pitch invasion, but it's all calmed down now. Kilmarnock 1, Rangers 2.
A bit early in the season for pitch invasion. So, Manchester City leading through that Raheem Sterling goal after his 25 in all competitions last season. Football Writers, Footballer of the Year, the PFA Young Player of the Year, and he snaffled it. And now actually, since Gabriel Jesus has come on, Sterling has now moved back across to the left-hand side where we're more used to seeing him, but he's showing increasingly that he's capable of playing in several different positions, Dion. Raheem Sterling.
And I think he can. I think he's more educated now as a footballer. He's gone from being a boy, he's now a man. He's a senior to some degree, and his performances as well are being followed by his teammates over the last season or so.
And if Manchester City rate Leroy Sané at 140 million pounds, what's Sterling worth at the moment? Here is Gabriel Jesus on the left-hand side, tried to angle it through, bounces back to Jesus on his right foot, thought about a shot, plays it through to De Bruyne, it's deflect, chance again for Sterling, shoots, it's blocked by Alisson, and the ball bounces out, and Liverpool are able to scramble it clear again. Another chance for City.
Yeah, there's been some good chances at both ends, to be honest with you. The keepers have had to make a couple of saves, but finishing's been poor as of this point. But if both teams keep getting in, we can expect a few more goals.
We can. Liverpool 0, Manchester City 1. And it is City coming forward again with Rodrigo. Fernandinho, we're told, is here, even though he actually has a little bit of a problem. I don't think it's anything too serious. And, both managers, both Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola, being quite careful with those players who are involved well into the summer in the international tournaments. Here is Sterling being booed by the Liverpool supporters, and then big cheers, because the challenge comes in on him from Alexander-Arnold, and then Alexander-Arnold thought he might have had his legs taken away from him then, but it's a throw-in that Manchester City take back into their own half. Chorus of boos for Sterling.
Well, we know we can actually close our eyes and wait for the boos and know that Sterling's got the ball. I've had a look at Rodrigo there in the centre of the park for City. Is there a touch of Simon Cowell with the shorts? He's got his shirt tucked in and he's got his shorts incredibly high.
Here's Zinchenko playing the ball across from the left-hand side. Zinchenko's another one who's changed his number. He's now number 11. And then strong challenge from Van Dijk on Gabriel Jesus. Took the ball and the man, but Jesus was straight up on his feet. Now here's Bernardo Silva, edge of the area on his left foot. Challenge comes in from Robertson. The ball bounces away across the edge of the penalty area and away from the box, and Sterling plays it back towards the halfway line. So with City leading by 1-0, we'll make another visit to Edgbaston and Eleanor.
And Matthew Wade has just survived. LBW given out on the field, but then reviewed from Stuart Broad, the bowler, and it was going over the top. So Wade is still there, but the new ball has finally been taken. And it does seem to be doing a little bit. Wade just edging just in front of second slip. But we will see whether this can make a difference for England. 330 for 4, Australia. Smith 142, Wade 69. Australia lead by 240.
And I think it is all over with you, Roddy Forsyth, yeah?
Kilmarnock 1, Rangers 2. Scott Arfield putting Rangers in the lead early on, then without them being convincing, they looked in trouble when O'Donnell equalised with only 7 minutes remaining. But as we almost hit full time, there was a corner kick. Goldson got away from his marker, header into the net, and Rangers take full points. Kilmarnock 1, Rangers 2.
Still Aberdeen 1, Hearts 0 in the 3 o'clock kickoff. 1-0 to Manchester City here. The Women's British Open Golf is approaching its climax as well. We're going to go there in a moment, but here is Salah on the halfway line. Wijnaldum goes back into his own half. Gomez looks up. Sun comes out almost for the first time. It's been very muggy and humid, but now the sun breaks through the grey cloud above Wembley Stadium. Liverpool with the ball at the back. Forward to Fabinho in the centre circle, then Van Dijk, who's in the shadows on the far side, just plays it out to Robertson on the left-hand side. And Liverpool, almost for the first time in the match, having a period of possession and putting together a number of passes in the way that they like to do. That Manchester City goal and the way that City have started the match means they haven't been able to get into their stride. So Liverpool with Van Dijk. We will go to Woburn very shortly, but Gomez back to Alexander-Arnold. Now to the right-hand side, Salah, who's had a couple of early chances. Salah chips it forward. Now it's taken down by Firmino. Wijnaldum is well challenged by Rodri. And there's warm applause from the Manchester City fans, but City with Sterling lose possession. Liverpool have it back. Here's Fabinho 10 yards inside the City half, but with all of this sky blue shirts behind the ball, he turns and goes back towards the halfway line. Salah exchanges passes with Firmino. Lovely footwork from Salah, beats 3 men. Now it's played forward, but overhit by Firmino, and Claudio Bravo is able to pick it up. So let's bring in Ian Carter from the Gulf.
And a big change at the top of the leaderboard, because Hinako Shibuno, the 20-year-old Japanese leader, has just 3-putted from short range at the third, and that drops her back to 11 under par, meaning that Lisette Salas is the new leader at 13 under, Shibuno at 12 under, with Ash Buhai at 11 under. It's not happening for Charlie Hull at 8 under par. She's 5 shots behind.
Thank you, Ian. Yes, a busy August sporting afternoon in the UK. The Premier League will be back next weekend, and we are there right from the start. We've got over 140 Premier League commentaries this season and next season and the season after that as well, more than you'll get anywhere else. BBC Radio 5 Live, and we start with Liverpool against Norwich on Friday night in full on 5 Live. Live from Anfield. Liverpool, who've made rather a disjointed start here. Robertson couldn't keep the ball in. Throw it to Manchester City. Dion Dublin.
Yeah, Henderson's normally the backbone in that midfield for Liverpool, getting it and giving it and making and getting a new position and just what we call lending the ball to his teammates, but creating. Fabinho's not really been on the ball and had a chance to create anything. Henderson's been quiet, and Wijnaldum's normally effective, but Liverpool haven't had the ball for long enough to create anything.
Straight to Edgbaston, Dion. Eleanor.
It's the end of Steve Smith's brilliant second century in this test match, and he gets a great reception from the crowd here at Edgbaston. The applause coming from all around the ground, including the Hollies stand full of Barmy Army members. 142, and he was caught behind the second over with the new ball. Chris Wokes, Johnny Bairstow catching him behind the stumps. Just a little bit of a nibble, a little bit of an edge from that. Mark Ramprakash, just a word from you. What do you say about Steve Smith finally out for 142?
Well, he obviously gets a bit nervous in the 140s there. It's a nice little pitched up away swinger from Chris Wokes, just moved away from the right-handed Steve Smith, which is, as he gets across the crease, that wider angle becomes his corridor of uncertainty, and a smart catch taken by Johnny Bairstow. So look, a magnificent effort for him. He's got his team into a fantastic position in this test match, but does it open a door for England now?
Well, the lead here is 241 runs. Remember, we said that was the lead in the World Cup final. That's what they had to chase in the World Cup final. Yeah, it's not going to be the same here, because Australia still have 5 more wickets to fall, but they are 331 for 5. And Chris Wokes has answered the question of how you get Steve Smith out.
Thanks, Ellie. What a test match for Steve Smith. 1-0 to Manchester City here. Robertson with a run to the edge of the area. Bounced through. Salah would have been in an offside position anyway, but As it turned out, Claudio Bravo was able to pick the ball up. We're midway through the first half. Liverpool 0, Manchester City 1. Raheem Sterling scoring the goal, and it's been City's match so far, Dion Dublin.
It has, and it has been through, in my opinion, through sheer hard work. Liverpool then should have got a shot on target. Andy Robertson came from left back. He sprinted from left back all the way to the edge of City's D, but he was followed by Bernardo Silva all the way. Bernardo Silva was the one that made the rescue tackle before he passed it off to Salah. Salah was offside, but I've got to reiterate the hard work of City all over the pitch. As well as the flair they have, they work incredibly hard.
Liverpool 0, Manchester City 1. BBC Radio 5 Live. Alisson clearing the ball. It went low right up the middle of the pitch, and possession was back with Manchester City. Here is Nicolas Otamendi at the back. Stones playing as the right-sided central defender of the two. Stones thought about going long, but chips it to the left-hand side to Zinchenko. And now here's Raheem Sterling. While we're at Edgbaston, Sterling absolutely skinned Alexander-Arnold down the Manchester City left, but wasn't able to produce the cross. But that was vintage Sterling, the way that he took on Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah, it was. We often say, know your players, know the player you're playing against. He knows him well. One touch to take it in, one touch to go by, and then it was just sheer, put the afterburners on and see you later, Trent.
And Liverpool, their disappointing pre-season is continuing here at Wembley, 1-0 down. But Liverpool, Fabinho winning the ball back and giving it to Salah on the right-hand side. Seen very little of Origi on the other side. Here it is still Liverpool's number 11. Salah playing the ball in front of Henderson, who gets it back from Robertson. And now Henderson again. Back to Salah, who's remained quite central. But Liverpool have just slowed the pace and go back towards the halfway line. And what is a very warm afternoon here. Sun disappears again for the time being, but it's a real summery scene, isn't it, all around Wembley Stadium. There are empty seats in the central section, and particularly so in the top section, so it's probably 70, 75,000, something like that, the attendance, as Liverpool play it forward, but that's harmless. Manchester City will deal with that all day, and Claudio Bravo is able to skip across and catch the bouncing ball and give it out to Rodrigo Hernandez Cascante.
Cowell. You say Cowell?
when you said
those jaws are high.
They are very high. When you said, does he remind you? I thought you were going to pick out some great player of the past. And it was,
he might be a good player, Simon Cowell.
Here's Sterling on the left-hand side. Sterling to David Silva, and then Sterling again. And Rodri now, he looks strong, doesn't he? The former Atletico Madrid man, to Sterling, who curls the ball to the edge of the box. Gomez is able to make ground and then volley it away, right-footed. Now in the centre circle, John Stones again. Stones just plays it back to Walker, and City go back into their own half. Yeah, Liverpool's disjointed and disappointing pre-season when they went to Tranmere and Bradford. They won those matches, but then they went to Notre Dame in the USA, they went to Boston, they went to New York, they went to Murrayfield, and they went to Geneva. And in the end, it was only the last game when they won 3-1 against Lyon in that match in Geneva when things began to click for them, at least on their travels they did. But I don't read too much into pre-season. I think it's very wise not to.
Yeah, I do believe they haven't started yet. Liverpool. This is the game where they've get a bit more fitness and see how sharp they are. They're not looking as sharp as we would expect them to be.
Ball played over the top for De Bruyne, who gets away from the Liverpool back line. He's on the right-hand side, looks to cross. That was an important recovery and block from Gomez, because there were two City players in the middle. And he got back into position, blocked it away, and now Robertson is tearing forward with the ball down the left-hand side for Liverpool. Origi takes possession on the left wing. Robertson's continued his run, but it's still Origi in possession, in the full-back position. Right-footed cross, comes off the head of Stones, headed away at the back post. Zinchenko out to Salah, and then Salah snatched at his volley from the angle and hit it wide of the top right corner as he looked.
Yeah, it just found its way over to Salah at the far post. Zinchenko didn't seem to know where he was, slashed it, fell to Salah, and I'm thinking, on this occasion, please just swing your right foot at it and you'll hit the target and give yourself a chance of scoring a goal. He's had 3 half chances now, Salah, and because he's world class, you'd expect him to hit the target, make the keeper save. On this occasion, he doesn't.
Been a lot of chances, haven't there, in the match? In the first, well, we've not played half an hour yet, and maybe there's a bit of rustiness out there, but it's making it actually quite entertaining as a contest. We're going to go to the Grand Prix again in a moment or two if you're trying to avoid what's happening. So that's fair warning, so don't say I didn't tell you. Liverpool 0, Manchester City 1. And let's go to Jack Nicholls at the Hungarian Grand Prix.
So Max Verstappen is still leading the Grand Prix here, lap 57 of 70. Hamilton has tried a different strategy. Mercedes have pitted him, put him onto a new set of tyres. That dropped him 20 seconds back. He's now going faster than Verstappen. He's now 15 seconds away, but there's only 14 laps left of the Grand Prix. So it looks like it might be not quite enough for Hamilton to take the victory away from Verstappen. Full commentary on the BBC Sport website.
Yep, via the BBC Sport website and app. Liverpool winning the ball back from Sterling, who thought he might have been fouled, but Liverpool now taking it on through Firmino, who was bundled over, and it's a free kick to Liverpool on the halfway line.
Now, is that the first free kick of the game? Maybe there's been two or three, but I think Martin Atkinson, and I'm not one to give referees too much praise, he's been excellent. He's just let things go. There's been good challenges, shoulder barging, good challenges of players going on the floor as well, and he's let it go. It feels so much better when you can let the game flow.
Yeah, one of our most experienced referees, and as I find myself saying increasingly, there's no substitute for experience.
Says the young John Murray.
Ball's out of play for a goal kick to Manchester City. Yeah, there wasn't a great deal in that. The initial challenge. Rodri's put himself about very well, hasn't he? He's
looked very comfortable on the ball. He wants it. You can just see him there receiving the ball. He's got 3 Liverpool players around him, but again, doing exactly what I said earlier, just lending it to other players, getting it back and really taking charge in that midfield.
Liverpool, but Firmino, as he flicked the ball forward, would come back from an offside position, so it's a free kick to Manchester City. Yes, Rodri started out at Atletico Madrid. He is Madrid born, even though he sounds he should come from Port Talbot. But he started out at Atletico Madrid. He went to Villarreal, went back to Atletico Madrid and had a very good season after promising signs at Villarreal. And he is only 23 years old, 23 in June, so good age as well. And as we were saying before the game, fluent English. And he's slotting in very nicely into the Fernandinho position. Sterling playing the ball over the top for David Silva to chase, but he won't reach that, and it's through for a goal kick to Liverpool. City leading by 1-0.
Yeah, City seem to have that sort of rotation of De Bruyne and Silva and Bernardo Silva as well. You know, if one goes, two stay. They just seem to know where each other is, and they fill in those gaps and always seem secure in the field.
City with Gabriel Jesus, the first of the substitutes. We could see 12 substitutes used today. Divock Origi gets his ankles clipped, and that is a yellow card. First yellow card of the match instantly for Kevin De Bruyne, who immediately turned, because I think he knew that could be a yellow card. He protested about it, but when he turned, Martin Atkinson already had the yellow card in his hand.
Yeah, I think Origi, that's what we'll need to see more. He received the ball on the halfway line. As soon as he knew there was green grass in front of him, he turned and he started to sprint away, and he just got there before De Bruyne. It was a yellow card, and the referee again gets it right.
First yellow card. 32 minutes played. Liverpool 0, Manchester City 1. BBC 5 Live. Oh, poor touch from Origi. Ball was played out to him over on the left-hand side. I'm afraid he took his eye off the ball and it went underneath his blue boot and out for a throw.
Yeah, he did. That's a case of, this is what I'm going to do when I get the ball before you've received the ball. That's the way you should think, but you should be ready with that first touch to put those plans into action. He was just ahead of himself.
1-0 Manchester City. Raheem Sterling, who had not scored in 10 appearances against Liverpool in all competitions since joining them from Manchester City, from Liverpool, joining City from Liverpool back in 2015. Been a Manchester City player for 4 years now. And that was a great moment for him. And now Sterling watching as Rodri takes the ball to the halfway line, plays it back to De Bruyne, who's put under pressure by Henderson, and so has to shrug off Henderson and play it back to Stones, halfway inside his own half. Stones with Origi and Firmino not far away. turns to his left and chips it to Zinchenko. Zinchenko now to David Silva. David Silva now in his last season with Manchester City. To Sterling, lovely from Sterling, cutting inside Alexander-Arnold, but then his angle pass, looking for the run of Gabriel Jesus, is intercepted, hit downfield where Otamendi pops it out of play for a throw-in to Liverpool. Salah takes quickly to Firmino. 10 minutes to go to half-time here at Wembley in the Community Shield of 2019, and it is 1-0 to Manchester City. Sterling scoring that opening goal in the 12th minute. City scored similar time in the match last season against Chelsea when Aguero scored what then was his 200th goal for Manchester City. He's added plenty since then. Here Alexander-Arnold playing it forward to Wijnaldum, but Rodri is well placed again, helps out Zinchenko. Back it goes to Claudio Bravo, the Chilean goalkeeper, with Ederson on the bench, and Stones threads a pass between Firmino and Origi inside his own penalty area to Otamendi.
They make that look so easy. Soon as they see the keeper, Bravo, in the 6-yard box on the ball, if you take your eyes off the keeper, you will see Man City with their heels on the white lines all over the pitch, making it so big, making it easier to find a teammate. As soon as he gets the ball, you watch the rest of those City players. Next time you watch City, you watch, they just make it so hard to press.
Stones again, back to Claudio Bravo. I was in the tunnel at the end of last season in Guimarães after England lost the semi-final to the Netherlands, and Stones, after his errors, he was inconsolable. He was absolutely devastated by the fact that his errors had contributed to England's defeat. So he will feel he's got a lot to prove. Sterling on the left-hand side, who proved plenty last season, slips the ball forward, but David Silva couldn't get there. And Alisson picks up, and then Alisson overarms it out to Wijnaldum, and then Salah, who tried to flick it past Zinchenko, but Zinchenko wasn't going to be fooled by that, blocked it out for a throw.
They just look a little bit sharper, City, I think. Just Liverpool can't be tired. I'm pretty sure they're not. They just look a little bit sluggish when they're in possession, and the player that's on the ball as well doesn't seem to have as many options as the City a City player on the ball at present. Just got to give their teammate a bit more of a hand, a few more options, just work a little bit harder.
While Liverpool went mainly west, Manchester City went mainly east pre-season to Nanjing and Shanghai and Hong Kong and Yokohama. Remarkable, isn't it now? I mean, some of the miles that are done pre-season. I know it is just a matter of course now, but
it's all changed now, John.
But every year, I always think, is this
changed.
really good for them?
It's all changed. Gone are the days of Blandford Army Barracks for 2 weeks.
Is that a highlight of your year?
Oh, yes, I'll never forget those days. 7 mile run.
Where is that, Blandford Army Barracks?
It's south, I know that. Bournemouth way, I think.
Right, okay.
Yes, it was great. I love the sand dune runs. It's fantastic.
Liverpool coming forward, playing from left to right. Here is Origi, who's popped up on the right-hand side. His cross, Otamendi stuck out a leg. It came off his toe end and bounces out of play for Liverpool's first corner, near the corner flag on the far side.
Yeah, I think that's a prime example there of Liverpool just looking a little bit leggy. Across from Origi, from the right-hand side. Now, last season, you would expect any crosses coming from the right-hand side, Robertson would be there. He'd be there at the far post for any bits, and the same for Trent as well. This time, Robertson was just on his heels. They get a corner, yes, but he wasn't in that position you'd expect him to be in.
That's Dion Dublin, Charity Shield winner back in the day. Dion watching Liverpool's first corner. Alexander-Arnold is going to swing this over right-footed. 20 years old, Alexander-Arnold. Deep one towards the back post, but it's over everyone. And again, that wasn't the usual sort of delivery that we expect to see from Alexander-Arnold, and it curled beyond the far post and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, a little bit too much weight on that one. I think his intentions were to put it right underneath under the crossbar, but a bit heavy-handed on that one.
So who was the Sergeant Major figure generally at Blandford Army Barracks?
Army Barracks. Well, it was the days Cambridge United, John Beck, cold showers, and being a horrible team to play against. We loved it.
Yeah. Here is Zinchenko, goes back middle of his own half. David Silva, who's dropped very deep now, but begins to scurry forward and then finds red shirts in front of him, so plays it to Walker on the right-hand side. Kyle Walker, quite a severe haircut to start the new season. In fact, I'm not sure there's very much hair there at all. Stones now to the left-hand side to Zinchenko. Both coaches standing on the edge of the coaching area, just next to where Zinchenko is in possession. He looks like the picture of summer Guardiola, doesn't he, with his light brown trousers. Ball played forward, and De Bruyne had not beaten the offside trap. He takes the ball down and actually passes it into the net, and I think Liverpool supporters are suggesting that he knew exactly what he was doing there, with Manchester City leading by 1-0. But I don't think even Martin Atkinson will pull out a yellow card in the Community Shield for time wasting for that.
No. Under the laws of the game, is that a yellow card? Kicking the ball away? I think it is.
I think it is.
And he's already on a yellow card.
So he is. Liverpool 0, Manchester City 1. Van Dijk, who won the other Player of the Year awards last season. There's a high foot from Gomez for a bouncing ball, caught David Silva, who stayed down. No free kick from Martin Atkinson, and with David Silva still down, I think the referee stopped the game. And actually Raheem Sterling is now going across there, Bernardo Silva's coming across too, and they are saying that that was a high foot by Gomez, and Pep Guardiola is absolutely furious about this. And actually Guardiola is now he's like almost performing kung fu kicks to demonstrate how Gomez put that challenge in on David Silva.
Yeah, he was. It was. He got the ball. Let's get it right. He did get the ball, but his studs were up, and I think it's one of those sore ones. And I think David Silva may have got the studs of Gomez on the top of his foot. I'm watching the replay here of Pep Guardiola. He's kicking out his right foot in front of the fourth official, saying that's how he's tackled. That's not allowed. Putting his player in danger. David Silva's on his feet, which is good to see.
And Guardiola now has been fired up by this. David Silva's on his feet. I'm not sure how much contact there was, and he's walking off the field relatively easily. But Guardiola now has really been fired up by that, and he has a picture of animation down there. Stuart Atwell, the fourth official, he was pointing his finger, waving his arms, as well as that kung fu stroke MMA style kick that we saw from him. And he's now actually walked onto the field. He's gathered players around. He's turning to his left, both hands together, hands apart, arms forward. He's put his hands on Kyle Walker. Now he's stepped back. He's passed an imaginary ball. He's pointing at the sky. He's pointing at the ground. And Claudio Bravo's come across, and he's still on the field. He is still on the field, and he's been yellow carded for all of that. And this is a new innovation now this season, yellow cards for the coaching staff. Martin Atkinson is having none of that. The manager on the field. More on that from Dion Dublin in a moment, but an update from the Hungarian Grand Prix coming your way now with Jack Nicholls.
Lewis Hamilton is right behind Max Verstappen. They took a gamble, Mercedes, and made a pit stop, and now Lewis Hamilton is right underneath the rear wing of Verstappen. There is only 3 laps of this Grand Prix to go, but it looks as though Hamilton may come out on top. Closing stages on the BBC Sport website and app.
Thank you, Jack. Yeah, Jack with Jolly and Palmer. And you can listen to them via the BBC Sport website and app. And while we're updating events, back to Edgbaston and Eleanor Oldroyd.
And the players are just going off for the tea interval at the moment, with Matthew Wade still there for Australia, going really well at the moment. He is on 86. Tim Payne has joined him on 7. Steve Smith, though, the man of the match by some considerable distance after his 144 in the first innings, 142 in the second innings. Australia have a lead of 266. Mark Radcliffe, in the first 2 sessions of today, have we seen the first blow of the Ashes series go to Australia?
Well, the pitch is good, and the England batsmen will take heart from that, but they will need to show a similar type of application when it comes to their turn to bat. Australia leading by 260. They've still got to believe, and the chat will be in the dressing room, that they can get some wickets, bowl Australia out for maybe just over 300, and then you never know.
356 for 5 at tea. Australia have lost just 2 wickets in the day today, John.
Yeah, and I suspect England supporters will be checking tomorrow's weather forecast fairly frantically. Free kick to Liverpool here. Going back to the Hungarian Grand Prix in a moment. Free kick. Liverpool played in deep. It's headed back across by Wijnaldum, but into the gloves of Claudio Bravo. So Formula One latest again from Jack Nicholls.
And Hamilton's done it. He's taken the lead of the Grand Prix away from Verstappen down into the first corner, and with 3 laps to go, Hamilton now comfortably leading the way. In fact, Max Verstappen pits for some fresh tyres, so that's it. Hamilton should have it wrapped up, and surely the championship wrapped up as well.
City coming forward, ball from the right-hand side, but Jordan Henderson back in to head it behind. Yeah, listen to those final 3 laps via the BBC Sport website and app of the Hungarian Grand Prix. But Liverpool, Dion Dublin had a free kick at one end for a foul by Bernardo Silva on Divock Origi near the corner flag. Within seconds, City very nearly had a chance at the other end. Yeah,
it's that crossfield ball from Zinchenko to De Bruyne. Little chip into the far post from De Bruyne again, trying to find Sterling. And a panicked clearance by Fabinho.
It's going to, we're going to have 3 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. Corner, De Bruyne plays it in, goalkeeper Alisson comes for it, got a hand to it, but he was being impeded by Raheem Sterling. Liverpool clear, comes out to De Bruyne, whose ball into the edge of the penalty area is intercepted by Gomez, who's able to clear it downfield. Manchester City still leading through that early-ish Raheem Sterling goal.
Well, there's that number 20. City have a corner. Liverpool clear it, they break out, they get it wrong. To be fair, they get it wrong, but who's back? Right back, Bernardo Silva. Just works so hard, knows where the danger is going to be, heads it back to his keeper, and just calms things down for City. They're just looking a little bit more reassured at the moment. Liverpool had created some half chances, but haven't really tested the keeper at all.
And now we see Stuart Atwell showing everyone the board. So it is 3 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. Liverpool 0, Manchester City 1. BBC Radio 5 Live, and this time next week on the all-new 5 Live Premier League Sunday, we will bring you commentary on Newcastle Arsenal and Manchester United Chelsea. Also, next Saturday, 3 o'clock, Bournemouth against Sheffield United is a 5 Live commentary match. Sheffield United's first match back in the Premier League. And it all begins Friday night, again, 5 Live commentary, Liverpool against Norwich. And over the course of the next few weeks, 5 Live and 5 Live Sports Extra, the only place to hear commentary on both the Premier League and the Ashes. City with a throw on the left-hand side. Zinchenko gets it back and then plays it all the way back into his own half. Seen quite a number of chances, more of them for... In actual fact, when you look at the number of good chances, Liverpool have had more of them.
Yeah, they have. They've been kind of half chances, but they haven't looked convincing when they've been in front of goal. And Salah's looked a little bit, off it at the moment. Snatched at a couple.
Only just back.
Yeah,
Salah
only just back as well.
Firmino.
So, they will end up in the back of the net come sometime in the Premier League. But yes, he's got so much quality. You expect him to hit the target. You expect him to score, actually.
Hungarian Grand Prix must almost be over, so we're going to go to Jack Nicholls again now.
Final lap of the Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton is a third of the way round it. Max Verstappen has pitted. He set the fastest lap of the race, but that won't be what he wanted. He'll have wanted the Grand Prix victory, but Jolyon Palmer, that's going the way of Lewis Hamilton.
It is. They've done a great job. Mercedes on the strategy in the pits, and Hamilton on the track. He's just been too quick for Verstappen. Verstappen had no tyres left, couldn't defend. He's pitted now, and Hamilton's cruising through the final corners.
Mercedes had a horrible time a week ago in Germany. Lots of mistakes and strategy errors. They've caught it spot on this afternoon.
One thing they're very good at is bouncing back from a defeat, and they've done it emphatically. Not for pole position. They had to do it the hard way, but Hamilton has done that.
3-week summer break coming up. Lewis Hamilton led the championship by 41 points coming into this weekend, but now he rounds the final corner. His teammate Valtteri Bottas is only going to finish in 8th place, and Lewis Hamilton is going to win the Grand Prix and further cement his control at the top of this 29 Formula One World Championship. Hamilton wins in Budapest, Verstappen second, Vettel third, Bottas only 8th.
Steve Smith-like domination from Lewis Hamilton this Formula One season, and we will round things up at half-time in the Community Shield, where City lead by 1-0 in added time. City coming forward again, but De Bruyne couldn't keep the ball in on the far side. That was a chance for City. It is a goal kick for Liverpool. While we were at the Grand Prix, Bernardo Silva, brilliant down the right-hand side, beating Robertson, cutting the ball back, but Liverpool were able to clear that one away. And again, City showing the potential and the way that they attack as the half-time whistle goes and Pep Guardiola turns and and actually looks slightly disappointed as he slaps his hand into the top of the advertising hoarding. The City don't have a greater lead than 1-0, Dion Dublin.
Yeah, I think with the possession they've had and the way they've played and how assured they look, they should possibly be up by another goal, maybe 2 goals up. But Liverpool have, they've been organised. They haven't really done a lot, Liverpool, going forward. They've created a couple of half chances, which you'd expect Salah to hit the target or even score. City deserve to be up by 1. Nobody really deserves to be up by 2.
Raheem Sterling scoring for Manchester City against Liverpool for the first time in the 12th minute. That's the only goal we've seen so far. Be expecting lots more substitutions in the second half. Incidentally, only 1 so far. Both managers can make up to 6. But at half-time here at Wembley, it is Liverpool 0, Manchester City 1 in the FA Community Shield. And Steve Crossman is here with us in the commentary box.
And we've had some messages from you on 85058 and at 5 Live Sport. Tim, Liverpool fan, Henderson's been poor today. Klopp should bring on Keita at half-time. Shelley, who's a City fan, says a neat goal from Sterling. Not sure about Alisson's keeping. He could have done better there. James, who's a City fan, says we've looked so comfortable today. Plenty of strength in depth, plenty of trophies heading our way, if this is anything to go by. Dion Dublin, certainly in the, if you like, the sort of first half of the first half, it did seem that City didn't have to work all that hard to create chances.
No, it's the way they started the game, Steve. They looked incredibly positive. The manager, Pep, set them out in a way that didn't give Liverpool any time on the ball at all. Liverpool really like to feel their way into games. The more ball they have, the better they become with it. And because City worked so hard, Liverpool really couldn't get their foot on the ball and start to find their way into the game. City have done that all the way through the first 45, 48 minutes.
Should Alisson have done better on the Raheem Sterling goal?
You know what? I don't think Raheem is so close that sometimes a keeper will just throw his body at something and hope he stops it. It's difficult to criticise the keeper when you are that close to him actually striking the ball. So he got something on it. It didn't look great, but he did well to get anything on it, Steve, in my opinion.
Thought John Murray did a great job of describing Pep Guardiola's dance down on the touchline there, for which he was yellow carded. At one point, I was wondering how many syllables there were. It was like sort of.
It was, watching Pep Guardiola explaining to the fourth official that was a terrible tackle. He's doing kung fu kicks. His arms are out. He's slapping his hands. He's slapping his thighs. The fourth official's getting further and further away from him. While all that's happening, Klopp's got his hands in his pockets. He's got his black cap on and he's just looking at his feet thinking, don't get involved. Don't get involved.
But that's the funny thing, isn't it? Because we were talking about how this might develop into a rivalry and whether or not it would require the two managers to have a bit more needle between them. That's the sort of moment when one manager is really going off. If two guys are going to sort of, be tussling on the touchline, when the other manager would get involved, but he didn't.
No, he didn't, and he was right to as well. I could see Pep's point of view. He did come in flying. Gomez's foot was raised. I don't think there was any malice in the challenge at all, but it looked worse than what it was. Pep knew it was, Klopp knew that it was a strong tackle, but he thought to himself, it's on the edge, so I'm going to say nothing.
It's been harder work for Liverpool, but Mohamed Salah, I mean, you could argue he could have had a hat-trick, certainly could have had 1 or 2.
Yeah, he could have done better with his finishing, put it that way. A lot of it was on his right foot, which he tried to get onto his favoured left foot. He did use his left foot on all 3 finishes. Maybe if he had a bit more confidence in his right, just to swing it, to hit the target, he may have had a better outcome. But on this occasion, those 3 chances, poor to his standards.
So half-time here in the Community Shield at Wembley Stadium. It is Liverpool 0, Manchester City 1, Raheem Sterling with the goal for Pep Guardiola's Premier League champions. Let's get the news now on 5 Live with Alison Hughes.
On digital, BBC Sounds, smart speaker and online.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Gunmen have killed 29 people in 2 separate shootings in the United States. In the first attack, 20 people were murdered at a shopping centre in El Paso in Texas. Officers have arrested a white 21-year-old suspect who they believe was targeting Hispanics and immigrants. Just hours later, another gunman opened fire outside a bar in Dayton in Ohio, killing 9 people and injuring 26. He was shot dead by police within a minute. A teenager has been arrested after a child fell from height at the Tate Modern in London. Police say the child was taken to hospital by air ambulance. Their condition isn't known. Managers at Heathrow Airport are holding last-ditch talks with unions to try to prevent more than 2,000 workers going on strike over pay tomorrow and Tuesday. 177 flights have been cancelled.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live on digital, BBC Sounds, smart speaker and online.
A look at the roads now in Essex and Kent. The M25 QE2 bridge, clockwise this is. Traffic's queuing, that's due to 3 earlier broken down vehicles. That's between junction 31 at Lakeside and junction 1A at Swanscombe. Congestion to just after 29 for Romford and Basildon. In Surrey on the M25 clockwise, 1 lane's closed, that's causing delays. That's because of emergency repairs between junction 10 at the Wisley interchange and junction 11 at Chertsey. Congestion to junction 9 there at Leatherhead. And in Staffordshire on the M6 southbound, delays there, that's due to an accident which has been moved onto the hard shoulder. That's between junction 16 at Stoke-on-Trent and Crewe and junction 15 at Stoke-on-Trent. Alison Hughes, 5 Live Travel.
The best live sport.
The oldest rivalry in cricket is back.
Enter Don Bradman, greatest batsman the world has known.
Both them swings and 4 runs, and yes, it's 4.
What a phenomenal test match.
Shane Warne's first delivery in a test match in England, that's unplayable.
The first test is live from Edgbaston right now over on 5 Live Sports Extra.
And keep up to date with the TMS podcast. Download and subscribe using the BBC Sounds app.
This is 5 Live Sport.
Yeah, good afternoon. Welcome back to 5 Live Sport with me, Steve Crossman. We're in the middle of live commentary of the Community Shield. Manchester City leading Liverpool by a Raheem Sterling goal to 0. Let's go to the Women's British Open now and find out the latest with Ian Carter.
Well, this remarkable Japanese 20-year-old Hinako Shibuno has bounced back well. A 4-putt double bogey at the third cost her the lead, but she's managed to curl in a birdie putt at the fifth. It's taken her to 13 under par. She has a slender lead. Jung-Young Lee 6 from Korea. The Koreans are mustering here. Has gone to the turn in 32. She's at 12 under par. So too the world number 1 Jung-Young Ko. Lizette Salas also at 12 under par. Ash Buhai of South Africa. They're all mustering behind the leader Shibuno, but it's not going to be a British success this year because we have seen both Bronte Law and Charlie Hull tumble down the leaderboard and way out of contention. Shibuno leading the way as she plays the 6, 13 under par, leading by 1.
What's the latest on the fantasy dress situation?
Just trying to locate the manager out there at the moment, but plenty of smiles. She's the smiling Cinderella as she's known, and she's winning so many popularity contests, smiling her way around the golf course. I thought her chances had gone with that 4-putt on the third, but she's bounced back remarkably well.
Ian, thank you very much. Right, let's go back to Edgbaston now. I mean, it's always supposed to be the tradition to have fancy dress, to have fans enjoying themselves. And, well, we would have hoped watching England close in on a victory in the first test. But it's not really been England's day, Ali Oldroyd.
No, it hasn't, Steve. You're quite right to say that. Yesterday, fancy dress day, had a very different mood to today, really, because England have been in this test match pretty much all the way through. So coming down here this morning, you thought you've absolutely no idea which way this is going to go. But then it went Steve Smith's way. They resumed this morning, Australia on 124 for 3. Smith was 46 at that stage. When England finally found a way through his defence, or when Chris Woakes did, he was on 142. So the 5th Australian batsman to score 2 100s in an Ashes test match, joining the likes of Steve Waugh and Matthew Hayden in the modern era, so to speak. But he has played quite brilliantly, Steve Smith, the former captain, and probably put them in a winning position. You'd say 356 for 5 at tee. They lead by 266 runs. I think, Mark Ramprakash, it's probably theirs to lose, to the extent that I've heard quite a lot of people talking about at what stage do Australia declare?
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess, look, you know, I am a little bit biased, having been involved with the team.
You're allowed.
And I suppose I've got to give the England point of view, and that is that they will come out after tea and believe that if they can pick up some quick wickets, if they can contain Australia to just say 300 or just over, we could have a very exciting day tomorrow. Because if ever there was a batting lineup to try and chase a score like that in a test match. And this is a very talented batting lineup who like to play in an aggressive fashion. So I'm going to try and look on the bright side, albeit there's no question Steve Smith's brilliance has dragged the match completely back into Australia's favour, given that they were 120 for 8 on the first day.
Yeah, absolutely right. And Matthew Wade is on 86 as well, so he potentially has got some runs to get. But yes, I mean, I'm taking that point entirely, that if England with a newish ball now, so it's only sort of 5 overs old or so, Chris Woakes and Stuart Broad actually in bright sunshine now. It's the nicest part of the day today. The cloud has cleared away and we've got sunny conditions overhead, potentially a shower a little bit later on, and there are some showers in the forecast for tomorrow, although not extended periods of rain. We don't want to think about a washout on the final day, but I suppose the key could be tomorrow could be Nathan Lyon potentially. Actually, I just had a little chat with Shane Warne as we were going up the stairs for tea, working for Sky here, and I said, do you think Nathan Lyon will fancy this? And he had a little kind of quizzical smile on his face, so he obviously thinks that is the case. But who could be the men for England now? Who will be the key men in this final session?
Well, given that it's a newish ball, you've got the seamers to bowl. I'm sure Joe will look for them to come on and give them, one big spell each. Ben Stokes, of course, in that pack. And then, as I say, I mean, the Australian lower order are not a prolific group of batsmen. So, England can keep a control of the scoring rate, plug away. And I still think there's a lot of cricket left, exciting cricket left in this game. Yeah, let's stay positive. The lower order, not brilliant. Peter Siddle scored 44 in the first innings, but that was alongside Steve Smith. So we haven't given up hope yet. There is still time left in this game, and let's not think about how much England could have, how things could have been different if Jimmy Anderson had been able to bowl for England. But 356 for 5. Players are just coming out to resume after tea. Australia's lead is 266 runs.
And of course, the evening session will be on 5 Live Sports Extra. That's the place to go to listen to Ashes commentary. Right now, we're going to go back to Hungary. Lewis Hamilton victorious in the Hungarian Grand Prix ahead of Max Verstappen and Sebastian Vettel. Our team there, commentator Jack Nicholls, Jolyon Palmer, of course, former driver. Jack, I mean, look, we didn't have the chaos of Germany, but we had the lead changing hands right at the death.
Yeah, it was an entertaining Grand Prix as far as Hungarian Grand Prix go, and great strategy from Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes to overtake with 4 laps left. It didn't look like it was going to be his day, but he had the pace and he had the minerals to make the overtake.
Jolyon?
Yep, it was. I thought it was a Budapest Classic. Actually, it was strategy that played out for Hamilton, but he drove brilliantly. I feel sorry for Verstappen because he did so well, and Red Bull did everything right as well. But in the end, second best to brilliance from Mercedes. And Verstappen admitted that they were just not quick enough, which was true. Even though they took pole position, they couldn't hold off Mercedes in the Grand Prix. Verstappen now is just 7 points behind Valtteri Bottas in the championship. Hamilton's lead is 62 points. I know you've been saying it's over for a while, but lo and behold, it is over. Yeah, Bottas only 8th. He had a really awful afternoon, having picked up early damage. So there was only one Mercedes in the race at the front, and they made it work again. Another win for Lewis Hamilton, a huge points lead now at the top of the championship, and you can get all the reaction on the Checker Flag podcast, which we're about to do now.
Brilliant. Jack, Jolyon, thank you very much. Lewis Hamilton back on top in Hungary. Some of the sports headlines for you. In the Scottish Premiership, Connor Goldson scored a last-minute winner to give Rangers a 2-1 victory at Kilmarnock. Aberdeen against Hearts, currently 1-0 to Aberdeen at half-time. There's one game in the Championship today. Bristol City, Leeds United. Michelle Owens at Ashton Gate.
Yes, good afternoon. Bristol City sold player of last season Adam Webster to Brighton this week for £20 million. So in defence, homegrown centre-back Taylor Moore will partner club record signing Thomas Callas, who moved permanently to Bristol City from Chelsea this summer. The Robins are looking to progress from last campaign's 8th place finish. Leeds finished 3rd last season, looking to progress this season after losing to Derby in the playoffs. Now, they did the double over Bristol City last season without conceding. Keeper Bailey Peacock-Farrell moved to Burnley this week, so Kikikis Garcia starts in goal. Ben White makes his debut. Kick-off here at Ashton Gate is 4:30.
Elsewhere, Everton have signed the striker Moise Kean from Juventus. He's joined for an undisclosed fee on a 5-year deal. Cricket South Africa have sacked their head coach Otis Gibson. He has been mentioned as a possible successor to England's outgoing head coach Trevor Bayliss. Marc Marquez has bagged his 6th win of the campaign at the Czech Grand Prix to extend his MotoGP World Championship lead to 63 points. And at half-time in Super League, it's Hull KR 14, Castleford 20, London Broncos 6, Salford 36. Here at Wembley Stadium, we're just waiting for the teams to re-emerge for the second half of the Community Shield. Liverpool 0, Manchester City 1 at half-time. Raheem Sterling with the goal. Your commentary team, John Murray and Dion Dublin. And Dion, it just goes to show, as I'm sure Steve Smith would tell you, the boos just bring out the best of you, don't they? And that's what happened with Sterling.
Yes, he's relishing those boos every time he gets the ball. He scored his goal at the end where all the red fans are, the left-hand side. As we look, we're sort of in the stand behind the dugouts, and he reeled off celebrating. I did speak to John Murray beforehand. Do you think Sterling will score? If he scores, will he celebrate? Yeah, of course he will, and he did, and rightly so.
It was emphatic, wasn't it?
Yeah, you know, He's been doing it for a good couple of years now, Raheem Sterling. He's just got better at giving his teammates something at the end of a good run or a bit of skill. It's a cross, a goal, a good finishing position. He's just getting better and better. Liverpool know all about him, but they couldn't do anything about him on that occasion.
Teams are back out for the second half then at Wembley Stadium. Dion Dublin and John Murray, your commentary team. And actually, John, you're going to have to find a new place in your page full of notes for manager yellow cards.
Yes, you're right.
Because Pep's on a booking.
Yes, I wasn't sure where to put it. You're absolutely right. Well, I thought, Dion, we might see quite a number of substitutions at half-time, but most of the players who started the match are still out there. Must mention as well, at half-time, we saw the awards being handed out for the FA and McDonald's Grassroots Football Awards, which was very nice to do in a almost full Wembley Stadium. We saw the boys from Glentoran, didn't we, when we walked into the ground, who were high-fiving you on the way in?
Yes, a few high-fives for the boys and girls.
Yeah, and there are no substitutions at half-time. So Liverpool with Alisson, Alexander-Arnold, Gomez, Van Dijk and Robertson. Midfield, Fabinho, Henderson and Wijnaldum. Salah, Firmino and Origi, as Martin Atkinson gets the second half underway here with Manchester City leading by 1-0. And the City team, Claudio Bravo in goal. I'll run through that team in a moment, because City have won the ball back with Gabriel Jesus, who's the only substitute who's come on so far in the match, and he's on the right-hand side near the corner flag. 2 Liverpool players with him. The ball finally out of play off Gabriel Jesus, and there's a little shove by Robertson on Gabriel Jesus as he runs past him. Throw into Liverpool. So the City team, Claudio Bravo in goal, back 4, Walker, Otamendi, Stones and Zinchenko, De Bruyne, Rodri and David Silva, then Bernardo Silva, Gabriel Jesus, who came on as an early substitute for Leroy Sané, and Raheem Sterling, the goal scorer. Liverpool take the throw, and it's deflected out of play for another throw to Liverpool, just a few yards away from where the initial one took place. BBC Radio 5 Live, throwing taken. The ball actually deflects across the Liverpool box. Alexander-Arnold, who is in danger of losing it to Sterling. He's lost it to Sterling, who's nipped it back, makes ground down the left, crosses in towards Gabriel Jesus, and then arriving David Silva on the half volley. Had a real swing at it on his left foot and blazed it from an angle from 15 yards wide and high by a yard or 2.
Yeah, there's the difference. Liverpool trying to play out but not looking comfortable at all, because the pressure of City is so high. When City do it, they look so comfortable. On that occasion, Liverpool giving it away to Sterling. Sterling is looking lightning today.
Yes, he is. In the other 3 o'clock kick-off in the Premiership in Scotland, Aberdeen still leading Hearts by 1-0. That early goal from Cosgrove. And we'll keep you updated on Bristol City Leeds United, which gets underway at 4:30 in their first match in the Championship this season. But it is Liverpool who are in the all-red kit. I think it's slightly darker red this season than last season. Usual white trim. City in this special one-off kit that we mentioned in the first half. Sky blue, white shorts, white socks. Salah on the right-hand side, very nearly found a way through into the penalty area. Deflects back towards Firmino near the edge of the box. Stones clears it up in the air. 2 City players go for it. Bounces for Liverpool, and then played square by Robertson. Origi with a shot which took a deflection off Walker, but it also took the pace off it and Claudio Bravo was able to just step to his left and catch.
If the ball's going to make it to you in an area in and around the box, it's exactly where Origi had it there. He's on his right foot, he's on the corner of the D, edge of City's box, and I'm thinking, just go on, curl it in the top corner. And he got it all wrong. It went between Stones' legs and then harmlessly back to Bravo. But it's a great chance.
The offside flag is up as City come forward. In any case, Sterling shoots and hits the post, and referee Atkinson says play on. Sean Massey with the flag, and even after Sterling went for goal, it hit the post, Martin Atkinson played on. Yes,
he must have known it was going to hit the post and thought, oh, carry on, it's fine, don't worry about it, no panic. Well, Sean Massey had her flag up from the get-go on that decision. She knew exactly that he was offside, but Martin Atkinson let him play go.
1-0 Manchester City leading here in the Community Shield match, with Liverpool in possession on the halfway line. And out it goes towards the right-hand side, but Zinchenko's able to head it infield towards Nicolas Otamendi. Bleach, blonde hair, Nicolas Otamendi, so looking slightly unfamiliar. Firmino touching it back, then Henderson's ball over the top, and Walker had to stretch for that, knowing that Origi was behind him. And now Liverpool, and City for that matter, both attacking towards the ends of Wembley where all of their supporters are. Liverpool have a corner in front of all of those supporters of theirs in the three tiers of Wembley Stadium at that end. First corner of the second half. Salah to take this. Liverpool lining up 3, 4, 5 players at the back post. Fabinho is there. Origi, Van Dijk's joining in now. Salah with the delivery towards the edge of the 6-yard area. That is headed away by Kyle Walker for City. Comes back for Liverpool. Robertson plays it into the edge of the penalty area. Headed away by Otamendi. Then a header is won by Wijnaldum. Just a little cushioned affair back to Robertson, whose left-footed whip cross takes a flick off the head of Firmino. Cleared away by Otamendi behind him. Still Liverpool press. Wijnaldum does well, gets the ball back. Wijnaldum, he shoots for goal. That is blocked by John Stones, just a couple of yards away from the ball. And Gabriel Jesus tried a clever flick against Robertson. And the ball deflected off the Liverpool left-back for a throw into City. Dion Dublin.
Yeah, I was just watching Jesus there, just trying to keep the ball in. He did try and get a cheeky little nutmeg on Robertson. Didn't work. It went out for the throw-in, and they both had a look at each other as if to say, I nearly got you and you'll never get me. And they just actually high-fived as they walked past each other.
Nice. Now that tells you about the Community Shield. Here's Sterling breaking forward from the halfway line. Fabinho leaned on him. Sterling went down. Martin Atkinson was 5 yards away, said no free kick. Claudio Bravo at the other end comes out of the Manchester City box and clears it into the mainly red shirts on the far side of Wembley Stadium from where we are. Overcast at the moment, no sunshine on the pitch. Salah now is able to turn the ball back towards Fabinho, who had to get there first ahead of Gabriel Jesus, but did. So Liverpool are still in possession. First time Liverpool and Manchester City have competed for this trophy, either as the Community Shield or the Charity Shield, against one another, as Liverpool play the ball back towards the halfway line. Actually, it's Liverpool's first appearance in this match since 2006. In the years before that, they were, well, you'll remember, Dion, growing up as I do, Liverpool were almost a constant presence in this match. They were in it in 20 of the previous 43 years. Here's Fabinho playing it over the halfway line to Henderson, who turns and gives it out towards the right-hand side. I think young Liverpool supporters will have been spending the summer pretending to be Jordan Henderson in the way that he lifted up the Champions League trophy. I think that very much will go down in their memories, their favourite memories of football, probably until the day they die. Back it goes towards Alisson. All in black, blue gloves. Alisson, his clearance is onto the head of De Bruyne. Now Bernardo Silva with Wijnaldum, but Wijnaldum, as you suspect he might, comes out winning the aerial battle against little Bernardo Silva. Gomez drives a pass forward, a flick from Henderson down the right-hand side. Salah's off and running against Zinchenko, still going, and then gets a heavy touch, but it flicked off Zinchenko. It's a corner to Liverpool.
Yeah, it's the first time we've seen in this half Jordan Henderson getting getting his head down and picking a pass and, getting comfortable on the ball. First half he was anonymous. He needs to do more in the second half.
Yeah, that was the Jordan Henderson that we saw in the latter stage of last season in that sort of right-sided midfield position. That was a positive touch from Henderson. So it's a corner from the right for Liverpool. 1-0 City lead. Alexander-Arnold, it's a high, deep one towards the back post. Firmino heads it across, then a stretching header from Van Dijk, and then a cushioned header from Zinchenko back to his goalkeeper, Claudio Bravo. The World Service are with us. Good afternoon to you, or whatever it is, wherever you're listening to us. Liverpool 0, Manchester City 1 is the scoreline here at a warm Wembley Stadium. Round about 70,000, 75,000 people, I would imagine. Inside, a big presence of City and Liverpool supporters watching the domestic treble winners of last season against the European champions. And it is the Premier League winners who are edging this match at the moment. Raheem Sterling's early goal. I think Firmino was caught late there, but referee Atkinson allows play to continue, plays the advantage. Salah beats a couple of men into the penalty area. He beats Zinchenko. He took on Otamendi, but then just ran into trouble. So Liverpool were able to clear. And Manchester City, their supporters raised themselves, knowing that Liverpool are beginning to move into their stride. Here's Van Dijk. Looks up, sends a high pass out towards the right-hand side. The touch there, though, was a little heavy initially from Henderson. City win the ball back. Now here, inside their own half, it's played back to right-back Walker, who turns away from his England colleague Henderson. And then another England man, Stones, is able to play the ball towards the left-hand side. No Aymeric Laporte for Manchester City. He currently is on the injured list. Another one of their top players last season. Fernandinho is not quite ready to return, but we've seen Rodrigo, or Rodri, as they call him, come into the team, and that is who's in possession of the ball now. Rodri to the left-hand side, to Zinchenko. And now Raheem Sterling again receives it from David Silva, and then after a deflection races towards the dead ball line, but he won't reach that, and it's behind for a goal kick to Liverpool.
Yeah, this is the best we've seen Liverpool so far. It's a little bit more composure on the ball. Still under a lot of pressure though when they're trying to play out from the back, but they just look like they may create a few more chances.
By the way, just in case you don't know, there'll be no extra time. So if it's level at the end of 90 minutes, it would be straight to a penalty shootout. And both managers can make up to 6 substitutions in this Community Shield match. Ball out of play for a throw-in near the halfway line. Claudio Bravo kicks it away downfield, nowhere near Robertson, the throw-in taker. 1 or 2 boos from the Liverpool supporters. But Robertson will take this throw. 1-0 Manchester City lead. 5 Live in the World Service from the BBC. And Robertson takes another couple of steps forward. Henderson makes a run. Not too much movement up ahead. Firmino down the line receives the throw and does well, actually. Finds Origi on the left-hand side. Origi's running at Stones. Plays it into the penalty area to Firmino. And then the covering challenge comes in from Otamendi to touch it behind for another Liverpool corner. This is their 3rd in relatively quick succession.
Yeah, that's the centre-halves union there. Otamendi just having Stones' back, making sure that Firmino doesn't get on the end of that ball from Origi. Good defending, safety, push it out for a corner.
Firmino there, Dion, just felt Stones' hand on his shoulder as he did so, went down immediately, but there wasn't enough. Martin Atkinson had a clear view of it. Almost as soon as he touched him with his hand, Stones pulled it away as if he was touching a hot plate. Corner from the left for Liverpool. Alexander-Arnold, it takes a double deflection against the crossbar and bounces out and away. Referee Atkinson is looking. It didn't cross the line. Liverpool come again. Alexander-Arnold's ball in. It's rattling around the City penalty area, and then it's cleared away by De Bruyne. The deflection in the middle struck the underside of the crossbar, came down. There were hopeful cheers from the Liverpool supporters, but referee Atkinson immediately looked. There was no signal and no goal, and it remains 1-0 to Manchester City.
Wow, what a great touch from... I mean, the corner in actually wasn't great from Trent Alexander, and it sort of bounced in front of... yes, it is. It's
Van Dijk.
It's Van Dijk. And I actually thought that got in, but I'm looking at the replay, and he connects with it amazingly on the half volley, goes into the centre of the goal, and it actually hits the crossbar. It bounces what looks like over the line, but not all the ball has gone over the line. That is an amazing decision.
Slap on the line.
Yes,
came
bang
down
on.
right on the line from Van Dijk, but it stayed out. Free kick to Liverpool now on the right-hand side. Liverpool having their best spell of the game, very nearly equalised. Alexander-Arnold's free kick actually hit Sterling, who was 10 yards away. Salah now in the box, shoots left-footed, hits the post from an angle. Classic Salah, a snapshot left-footed. Claudio Bravo diving down to his left. It struck the foot of the post and bounced back away from goal, and it's out of play for a throw-in on the far side to Manchester City.
It's amazing skill from Salah. Amazing skill. He's got two players around him. David Silva, I think the other one's Bernardo Silva as well. Spins onto his favoured left foot. Instead of going across the keeper, which he did do a lot last season, he hits the post on the near. We're looking at the replay again, and the ball, that's half the ball that didn't go in. Half did go in and half didn't go in.
This is
no goal.
This is from the Van Dijk volley that hit the underside of the crossbar.
Oh, wow.
The graphic shows half of the ball over the line, half of the ball on the line. Takes me back to the game at the Etihad last season, the 11mm incident when it was 0-0, and still got a stoppage here, by the way. I'm not sure. Oh right, there was a VAR referral there about whether that was a red card or not.
I think that was. I think it was a clearance on. I think it was Bernardo Silva. I think it was a challenge on Bernardo Silva.
Possibly an elbow.
Yes. Maybe.
Anyway, it's been looked at, and it's not a red card, and it continues to be 11 against 11. İlkay Gündoğan is going to come on as the second Manchester City substitute. Liverpool still yet to take their first. That must have been in the aftermath of the Salah shot hitting the
I think
post.
it came off the post and then it was cleared by, or attempted to clear by, Bernardo Silva. I think it was David Silva actually that was involved in the incident. The referee let play go.
I think it was Bernardo Silva. I think David Silva's coming off. Right, now we're finally seeing this incident, and it was when Alexander-Arnold and Bernardo Silva came together, and actually it was Alexander-Arnold who just had a little reaction. He just tapped Bernardo Silva. The two of them bounced off each other. Bernardo Silva went to ground, and the question was whether it should have been a red card for Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah, just a little bit of a flick out. Trent Alexander is walking past Bernardo Silva, and I think he just swung out his right leg, just brushed his thigh. A little bit petulant from Trent Alexander, that was. He could have quite easily been cautioned for that. David Silva has just come off.
More on that in a moment, but we need to get another update from Edgbaston, where they're back underway after tea. Australia in charge, Eleanor Oldroyd.
And they have another centurion in Matthew Wade, the wicketkeeper batsman from Tasmania. He's just brought his 100 up in his first Ashes Test match. He's played 23 tests in the past for Australia, but this is his first Ashes Test, and he nearly didn't come on this tour because the selectors wanted him to play in the A Tour.
Ellie Sterling is in here for Manchester City, running through, and in the end he just ran straight into Alisson, the goalkeeper. He did have the option of Kyle Walker, didn't use him, and Alisson was able to make a blocking save, and it's still 1-0. Back to you.
Sorry, yes, I was just going to say that Wade came over on the A Tour, but his wife was due to give birth at the time of the A Tour starting, so he said, I won't go. His wife said, no, you must go. They had the baby induced, so little Goldie was born 4 days before he came out on this tour, and justified his wife's decision for him to come out here. I did ask him, Mark Ramprakash, whether they called the baby Goldie after the green and gold of Australia, and he said not, but he's played really well here in support of Steve Smith, and now in support, and now with Tim Payne at the other end, 386 for 5, and well played to Matthew Wade.
Yeah, he's been very fluent right from the word go. He's got his runs at a good lick off 131 balls, and he's looked convincing on this pitch. England, in contrast, look quite flat, and after tea we've got Joe Root operating at one end, which I'm very surprised at. You know, surely the ball had to go to Moeen Ali, your number one spinner, who's got such a good record in the last year of Test cricket. So That's a little bit of a shame in my view, and Ben Stokes operating at the pavilion end, who's bowled a couple of short and wide deliveries and has got absolutely clattered. So England looking a little bit flat and almost waiting for something to happen.
The lead is up to 296 for Australia now, John, and we are debating whether we could see England batting. We could see a declaration in England batting before the end of today.
Thank you, Ellie. So 100 for Wade after Steve Smith was eventually out for 142 earlier. While we were at Edgbaston, had a long stoppage here because Divock Origi needed some treatment. He's okay, he's back on the field. And Dion Dublin, City should be 2-0 up after Sterling was through.
Yeah, it's great work from Kyle Walker, just burst through on his own, put Sterling through. Sterling's one-on-one with Alisson, he should score. The reason why he doesn't score is because he sees Kyle Walker coming on his left-hand side. He wants to pass to him. He's going to pass to him. He's got to be unselfish. Van Dijk gets there just in time and he changes his decision, Sterling. He should have just scored, went on his own.
Yeah. He did score in the first half, so it is Liverpool 0, Manchester City 1. BBC Radio 5 Live. The Community Shield, supported by McDonald's to give it its full title. And Liverpool playing from right to left, rolling the ball to Robertson on the left-hand side. Liverpool's first Premier League match, Friday night, 5 Live commentary match, live from Anfield against newly promoted Norwich City, while Manchester City start here in London on Saturday lunchtime against West Ham. Liverpool coming forward. Here's Salah on the right-hand side, rolls it infield towards Wijnaldum, then back towards the halfway line. Van Dijk is able to carry the ball on and forward and give it to Firmino near the left corner of the Manchester City box as Liverpool play, but Firmino turns back to Wijnaldum. Now Fabinho works it to Alexander-Arnold, and then Alexander-Arnold again, who survived the VAR check about whether he should have been sent off. Ball into Origi, right side of the box, pulled the ball away, turned to the right-hand side, but then defender Stones was able to dispossess him, and then it's whacked out of play by Bernardo Silva, and there was a little coming together between him and Robertson. We do have a little edge in this Community Shield match, and then there's quite a heavy challenge here by Gabriel Jesus on Wijnaldum. Bernardo Silva is able to run the ball away, and he's just holding it, and Robertson comes in with a challenge, and down goes Bernardo Silva. He took the ball, and referee Atkinson says, yeah, fine, play on.
A little 15 seconds worth of play there has taken me back to the 1980s, kicking and punching and pushing and really being physical with your opponent. One-on-one clashes, really good to see. Referee letting it all go.
Mind you, do you remember the famous Kevin Keegan, Billy Bremner Charity Shield incident?
Yes, I do.
Ball forward for Liverpool down the right-hand side. Henderson on the chase. It's been turned out of play by Otamendi. Throwing for Liverpool. Still 1-0 Manchester City. Alexander-Arnold gets the ball down, crosses it in. Otamendi heads it away. Comes out to Wijnaldum, 25 yards from goal. The challenge is good on him though. And Gabriel Jesus helping out his defence. That is typical Guardiola Manchester City. Gabriel Jesus back in there. Aguero's on the bench, incidentally. And here is Van Dijk now. Yeah, that famous Liverpool Leeds Charity Shield match when Kevin Keegan and Billy Bremner ended up having a fist fight and were both sent off. Here is Henderson, now towards the corner of the penalty area. Manchester City clear it away, and it's up to De Bruyne, who's able to turn. De Bruyne now holds the ball, holds it, then uses the relatively newly arrived Gundogan, and then Gundogan and De Bruyne run into one another. That is very unusual, Manchester City. Liverpool are going to make a double change. Keita and Matip coming on very shortly. But Liverpool coming forward with Origi on the left-hand side. Origi against Walker. Ball deflects out of play off Origi, throwing Manchester City. Going to see this change now, and it's Alexander-Arnold who is being hauled off. So Matip on, and possibly a reaction to the fact that Alexander-Arnold has been involved in that incident with Bernardo Silva.
Yeah, he's not been at his best. Yeah, it's the first game of the season in regards real game, so to speak. He's played better. Get him off the pitch, rest him. Don't let him get injured. They'll go to a 3 now, I would imagine.
And Keita coming on for Fabinho.
Matip has gone in between Van Dijk and Gomez. Gomez has gone out to right back. I'm pretty sure that when they are in possession, they'll go to a 3, and Robertson will be bombing down that left-hand side.
Meanwhile, Keita just have a little fancy that he might have a very good season for Liverpool if he's able to stay fit. Thought there were some really promising signs from him towards the end of last season. Liverpool 0, Manchester City 1. BBC Radio 5 Live and the World Service, live from Wembley Stadium. And City playing the ball forward. Liverpool have had the better of things in the second half, but Sterling should have scored to put City 2-0 up. Mind you, Van Dijk could easily have scored for Liverpool with a ball that hit the crossbar and landed on the line. Ironic cheers, yes, because De Bruyne has been given a free kick while City organise themselves. Ian Carter will give us another update from Woburn.
Yes, and Shibono, the leader, has just dropped a shot at the 8th, leaving Lizette Salas of the United States out in front, heading into the back 9 here. She's just birdied the 9th at 14 under par, leading by 1.
And Hearts have equalised against Aberdeen in the 3 o'clock kickoff at Pittodrie. If you didn't hear earlier, Rangers won 2-1 at Kilmarnock with a late goal from Goldson. Manchester City with the ball on the left-hand side with Gabriel Jesus, who's tangling with Matip and fouling Matip, and it's a free kick.
Yeah, that's good honest football from Jesus and Matip. Matip's just come on, just getting his body in between him and Jesus, obviously the stronger, the bigger man, and gets his team a free kick.
Van Dijk steps forward, gives the ball to Henderson now. Henderson to Salah. Salah shoots from the angle, and Claudio Bravo goes down to his left and makes a smart save. Actually holds it down to his left near the foot of the post.
That is a really good save. Again, I think he's expecting Salah. As Salah does, he comes on his left foot inside, and I think Bravo could be going to his right, has to change, goes to his left. Yeah, good strong feet to the left, down to the left, good hand, good keeping.
That is possibly the 3rd time we've seen Salah go for that corner from that angle, the near corner, if you like. City coming, offside flag goes up. It is now the customary late flag.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he was. I'm not sure if he was offside. If he was offside, I'm getting a nod from the whole of the studio here. Everybody's nodding, saying, Dion, yeah, you're wrong, Dion, he was offside. Okay, thanks very much, he was offside.
20 minutes to play. Liverpool 0, Manchester City 1. And here is Keita into the action for the first time. Naby Keita missed the end of the season, so wasn't involved in the great day in Madrid for Liverpool. Stones now has to stretch, heading it back. Origi, who was very much involved in the great day. I mean, some of those goals that he scored at the end of last season, but he's not. The Origi we've seen today hasn't been that Origi.
No, he hasn't. And I did mention, I did chat with Stevie Crossman before the game about Origi and can he be as effective as a starter, and I haven't seen it in a red shirt for a very long time. Coming off the bench, he can be very, very effective, but he has to do more. He has to score more goals, create more chances if he wants to get in this starting 11 for Liverpool.
Oh, there's an odd pass from Gundogan, nowhere near City players, down into the City right back area, and Walker had to make 20 yards back to take the ball before it rolled out of play for a corner, which he was able to do. City now back looking more familiar, and still in their own defensive third. Liverpool leading 1-0. Right-footed clearance long from Otamendi in the end. Liverpool forced that with their pressing, but the ball was won by Gabriel Jesus. Here's Bernardo Silva now. Bernardo Silva quite central, manages to work his way past little Keita, now to the left-hand side for Gabriel Jesus. Rodri, who had a very good first half, but it's been a little quieter in the second as Liverpool's influence has grown, and he's given the ball away, and it's played forward to Salah, who overran it and gave Otamendi the chance to come in with a challenge. It's a 2-footed tackle, but it was a good tackle. He timed it brilliantly and took the ball away from Salah. And now Gundogan is also running the ball towards halfway, and actually a Liverpool man, I think it's Henderson, has stayed down after that challenge from Gundogan. And the referee has stopped play just to go over to the Liverpool captain to see how he is.
Yeah, I do think Henderson's okay, but Salah is getting in more and more. If you keep giving Salah chances, sooner or later he's going to stick one in the back of the net. On this occasion, it was a great tackle from Otamendi. Halts him in his path. I'm just watching the replay here. But yes, there's been a couple of saves from Bravo, a couple of chances from Salah. He's got to do better, but as a City player, you've got to think to yourself, right, we're giving Salah 3 or 4 chances now. You can't keep giving him chances to come in on his left foot and shoot a goal.
It was Naismith, by the way, who scored that equaliser for Hearts. So it is Aberdeen 1, Hearts 1. Be underway shortly. Bristol City Leeds United at Ashton Gate. Liverpool 0, Manchester City 1 is the score. I think we might have the air conditioning on, do you think, Dion, for a few minutes? It's getting quite sweltering in here.
Isn't it?
Here is Sterling on the left-hand side. Now De Bruyne on his left foot, shoots from the angle, but no power on it. And Alisson is able to drop on it and runs the ball out. And City bringing the ball forward, but then the foul by Keita, and it is a free kick, actually, for the challenge by Bernardo Silva.
Yeah, I think the two subs that have come on, Keita and Gundogan, just haven't quite found their feet as yet in this game, giving the ball away a couple of times, getting caught on the ball as well.
Australia 400-5 is the latest score in their second innings. So Australia lead by 310 runs, with obviously still 5 wickets remaining. Tall order for England tomorrow. You can hear it, the ball-by-ball commentary rest of today, tomorrow morning, 5 Live Sports Extra on your digital radio, BBC Sport website and app, and via BBC Sounds. Ball headed away by City, by Zinchenko, but it is being taken forward now by Henderson. Zinchenko headed it straight to Henderson, but Henderson wasn't able to take advantage for Liverpool, with plenty of red shirts pushing forward. City with Gundogan. Gundogan, he's under pressure from Salah, and he forces the error. And it's becoming quite scrappy from City. Liverpool have got real hope here, but there's a City man who's gone down near the halfway line, while Liverpool have got a throw. And it is goal scorer Sterling who's taking a bang, possibly in the face. So
I didn't see any contact at all. He seemed to go down.
Whether he's just
off
run into
the
the back of someone, maybe.
I think he's wiping his on the screens here. He's using his shirt to wipe his mouth, looking for blood. Doesn't seem to be any blood there, from what we can see.
Yeah, you know, we talked a lot, didn't we, before the game today on 5 Live about the, you know, this rivalry, this edge. There has been a little edge, hasn't there?
There has towards in the second half. You've seen a little bit of needle, some good challenges. You know, Robertson and Bernardo Silva. It's been a great battle down this left-hand side for Liverpool, right-hand side for City, and you know, Sterling and Trent Alexander as well. It's been good to watch.
Keita as well, plays the ball through. It's blocked by Otamendi. Otamendi recovers. Keita was onto the ball though, but wasn't able to find a teammate in red on the edge of the box. Going to see another Liverpool double substitution in a moment. Oxlade-Chamberlain and Shaqiri.
Treble, I think it might be
and
treble.
Lallana coming on for Liverpool as they continue to press for the equaliser. Origi crossing from the left-hand side. That is cut out in the middle by Rodri, who's finding Walker, who then finds De Bruyne, who runs the ball away up the right-hand side, plays it infield, but a very heavy touch from Gundogan gives possession back to Liverpool. Keita again with a pass forward, but Walker steps across Origi and is able to intercept the pass that was meant for Origi quite easily. Gabriel Jesus to the left-hand side. Hearts have now taken the lead at Pittodrie. Aberdeen were 1-0 up. Now it is Aberdeen 1, Hearts 2. That match, like this one, well into the second half. 15 minutes to play here at Wembley on this muggy afternoon. I'm not sure if it is so muggy out there. Certainly muggy in our box, but that air conditioning's made a difference.
Yes. I did see one of our staff in the studio did get up off their backside and put the air conditioning on for us. That's very rare for them to do a bit of work when they're not needed.
Well, you say that. I think they're very good. Liverpool with Van Dijk at the back. Matip thought about the long pass, then rolls it forward to Salah on the right-hand side. Zinchenko, who's been in quite a tussle with Salah today, the young Ukrainian, concedes a free kick. And I think we're going to see this triple substitution now. So this will be substitutes 3, 4 and 5 for Jurgen Klopp, who did say in advance of this that he would make 6 changes. He's towering Jurgen Klopp above Shaqiri. Jurgen Klopp, who did actually twice win the German equivalent of this match when he was the Borussia Dortmund coach against Pep Guardiola's Bayern Munich. And now some instructions as well for Lallana. Free kick though will be taken for Liverpool. Walker got his head to it for City. Van Dijk plays it across to the back post, and it's headed in by Matip for the equaliser for Liverpool from close range in amongst the crowd of players. The tall Liverpool central defender got to it, headed it down over the line, and it is Liverpool 1, Manchester City 1, and all of that Liverpool pressure that they've had in the second half has produced the equaliser.
Composure at its best there from the big centre-half, Van Dijk. It's a great ball and it gets flicked on by a City defender to the far post, straight to Van Dijk's chest. He doesn't panic, he doesn't go for goal, he just lifts it into an area where he hopes one of his players will be. Matip's there, he gets above everybody and heads it down into the goal. Good, composed play from Liverpool.
They deserve it for the way they played in the second half.
They've got back into this game in the second half, they have, and when it's only 1-0, you have got every chance of getting back into the game, maybe winning it, maybe getting the draw, but they've deserved to be level right now. City have just taken their foot off the gas a little bit, been a bit sloppy. Gundogan's been giving the ball away as well. De Bruyne hasn't been himself in the last 5 minutes. So yeah, fair play to Liverpool.
Oh, VAR is checking this, and the decision is goal. I'm not sure what it was that was the issue, but whatever it is, in Stockley Park, Anthony Taylor, who is at the controls, has decided there's nothing to see here, and we will now see the changes. And it is Firmino, Henderson and Origi who are making way. So Firmino and Origi, two of the front three, and the captain, Henderson. And as I say, coming on are Lallana, Shaqiri and Oxlade-Chamberlain. So while they make all of those changes, we'll get another update from Eleanor at Edgbaston.
Well, we're getting the football chanting from the Barmy Army here at Edgbaston. They have pretty much given up hope, I think, of England getting anything today in this test match. Australia's lead now 315 runs with 5 wickets remaining, so England would have to chase more than has ever been successfully chased here at Edgbaston to win the test match. Chances are they may have to bat through the whole of tomorrow and possibly even a few overs tonight if they're going to save it. Australia 407 for 5, Wade is 110, Payne is 33.
And did you ever look at that weather forecast, Ellie?
Well, yeah, our radars were telling us that there may have been a few showers around this evening, just a chance of them, and then tomorrow a chance of some showers in the morning. There's a review actually going on at the moment because I was looking at the weather. Joe Root, Mark Ramprakash is kind of trying to signal things at me, and you can actually tell me what they're looking at.
Well, it was a good piece of bowling from Moeen Ali. He threw it up and outside off stump, and Tim Payne choosing to leave the ball, but it turned appreciably, and Johnny Bairstow has said to Moeen Ali, look, I think we should have a review. It's hit him on the back leg outside off stump, but he wasn't playing a shot, so it has turned sharply. Just having a look at it on screen.
And your verdict?
Well, it's turned appreciably. I'm not sure it's turned quite enough, and because the umpire's given it not out, it would have to be hitting the main part of the stump, and we're just seeing it following through. In fact, it's not even hitting any part of the stump, so it's not got a lot going for it.
No, absolutely, that's comprehensively not out, that. So Australia continue 407 for 5.
Lovely, thank you, Ellie. Commentary continues. Test match special, 5 Live Sports Extra, Radio 4 198 Longwave. Lively at Pittodrie as well. It's now Aberdeen 2, Hearts 2 there. Equaliser for Aberdeen, who are down to 10 men in that match. Aberdeen still Bristol City 0, Leeds United 0 in the early stages there. Beg your pardon, Hearts are down to 10 men at Pittodrie, and Liverpool 1, Manchester City 1 is the score here after that. Joel Matip, 78-minute equaliser. But you're right, Dion Dublin. It was lovely composure, wasn't it, by Virgil van Dijk, who peeled away across the penalty area. It came off the head of Kyle Walker as the ball came across, but he was able to take it down, lift it across perfectly for his central defensive partner now to score.
Yeah, it's one of those as a centre-half, having been a centre-half myself, I probably would have shot there. It just goes to show his thought process is keep the ball alive, get it into an area where we should have players, and his centre-half partnership, who's come off the bench, just nods it in.
And these two teams, who were separated by just the 1 point in the Premier League last season, the two matches were very close in the league. The 0-0 at Anfield when Mahrez missed the penalty at the end, and then the game at the Etihad, the 11mm game that was won 2-1 by Manchester City. Well, we are now less than 10 minutes away from them being involved in a penalty shootout here at Wembley, because there would be no extra time. Liverpool coming forward, thinking that they might win it. Ball from Lallana. Now Keita with a shot, but Claudio Bravo diving to his left. Did very well to beat it away, leaping and making sure that the score remains 1-1.
Yeah, he's actually going to his right, diving to his left. He has to sort of swivel, change his body, feet go to the right, hands go to the left. Keita should really score there. It's a great contact. Liverpool, they have had 71% possession in this second half. That goes to show why they're creating so many chances.
It's actually Claudio Bravo making his return, his competitive return for Manchester City. Hasn't played for a year, done really well.
He's done great. He really has, and he's kept Liverpool out.
Young Muric is now on loan at Nottingham Forest and didn't have the best of days yesterday, I heard. And so Claudio Bravo, ruptured Achilles this time last year after the Community Shield, has been beaten just the once, but made a number of decent saves. Phil Foden's going to come on for the final 6 or 7 minutes. Wijnaldum now plays the ball out to the right-hand side, where it's taken down and pulled across, glancing header away on the edge of the box. Oxlade-Chamberlain was trying to get the ball down, waiting for it to drop, but it wouldn't, and City were able to clear. City are struggling a little here. Keita, but referee Atkinson's bringing the ball back.
Bounce ball. I think it hit the referee on the ankle. Therefore, the new rules.
New rules, yeah. New laws, a number of which have come in. You'll get used to them very quickly if you haven't already from the Women's World Cup. So it is a bounce ball. Back to Edgbaston. Eleanor.
A sixth wicket has gone down, and Matthew Wade is the man out, just trying to get after Ben Stokes, but just putting it down the neck of Joe Denley. So Wade is out for 110. Australia are 407 for 6. The lead, though, 317 runs. Still thinking that we may see a declaration at some stage in the next hour or so.
Here we see the uncontested drop ball after the ball hit the referee. Aberdeen are back in front at Pittodrie, 3-2 against 10-man Hearts, and not long to go there. Aberdeen 3, Hearts 2. Rangers winning 2-1 at Kilmarnock earlier in the afternoon. Next weekend, lots of Premier League commentaries on 5 Live. Liverpool Norwich on the Friday night, Bournemouth Sheffield United 3 o'clock Saturday. Next Sunday in the all-new 5 Live Premier League Sunday, Newcastle Arsenal and Manchester United Chelsea. Here it's the Community Shield and Manchester City, who are just clinging on a little, but breaking away downfield with De Bruyne, whose cross comes off Lallana, bounces down across the penalty area, and Liverpool, Gomez, now at right back, is able to pass it away to the squat little figure of Shaqiri with his blue boots and his red socks pulled up high over his knees. He sets Lallana away. Now here's Salah on the right-hand side, shoots, takes a deflection, and the ball loops up and over the crossbar and onto the roof of the net. Claudio Bravo, I think, knew that he was okay, but he put up a hand there just in case, but it is a corner.
Yeah, I think it was always going to be safe. Salah again doing what he does best, just trying to get an end product. But I don't think his teammates were too happy with him. Keita was making his way in the box, Robertson was making his way in the box as well. If he lifted his head, he might have been able to pick out a teammate.
It's not the first time you've said that this afternoon, Dion, of Salah. Shaqiri is going to take this corner. Left-footed, he backs away at quite an acute angle actually. Foden still waiting to come on here on the halfway line. Liverpool with Van Dijk in the 6-yard box. Here's the delivery, it's poor to the near post. Easily headed away by De Bruyne, out of play. Throw-in taken quickly by Liverpool. Might have been better to use a little composure because they lost possession almost immediately. However, Gomez has it back. His pass though is stopped by Zinchenko. Now Gundogan's given the ball away. Another poor touch from the German international. Salah in that familiar position, shoots straight at goalkeeper Bravo, who is able to go down, drop onto his knee and stop it quite easily.
Is that number 7 now from Salah? I think it is.
There or thereabouts, shooting from that position. You've seen him score so often from there. As you said, Dion, very, very often in that position. You'll normally see him curling for the top.
Yeah, and he normally gets it right as well, John. He normally picks the right. You know, on this occasion today, there's a good 7 chances on goal, or should I say he's taken 7 chances. There's 3 or 4 of those he should have got his head up and picked out a teammate.
City with Stones at the back. Going to go to Woburn for another golf update in a moment, but City being put under pressure here. And Rodri's lost possession. Oxlade-Chamberlain finds Salah, but Claudio Bravo came out, made a really good stop actually. Very quick thinking by Manchester City's veteran goalkeeper, and he kept out Salah. And now De Bruyne tries to play it forward for Gabriel Jesus, but Gomez got the better of him. But well done, Claudio Bravo, again against Salah.
I just think Salah's just a little bit shy of his normal sharpness in front of goal. You know, if you give Salah 8 chances in the Premier League, I'm pretty sure in one game he's going to score 3 or 4. On this occasion, just hasn't got it right. He's now put himself through the middle to try give himself more chances to score goals.
Things coming to a climax then with you, Ian, at Woburn.
Yes, still a ways to go, but while Salah is missing with you, Salas here is finding the target. 3 birdies in the last 4 holes. She's got it to 15 under par and leads the world number 1, Jin Young Ko, by 1 at 15 under.
Our golf correspondent Ian Carter at the Women's British Open. There's a stoppage here with a score 1-1. De Bruyne, I think, has just got a little bit of cramp there.
Yeah, I think it was. He actually tried to get on the end of a pass. I think it was from Jesus, and as he started to go into 4th and 5th gear, he just pulled up, and I think he's walking okay now. I think he's walking towards the touchline to get some water, but I think it's a bit of cramp. Actually, I think he's coming off.
And he's going to put the armband onto Kyle Walker, which he does now, having taken it himself from David Silva. And now Phil Foden, who's been standing there waiting to come on for about 5 minutes, will come on for Kevin De Bruyne. There, I think, has there been a goal in the Bristol? No, there has not been a goal. Hold your horses. We'll get an update on Bristol City Leeds United from Michelle Owen.
But there was a very good chance in this game, and it fell to Leeds United. A poor clearance from keeper Dan Bentley for Bristol City fell to Adam Forshaw. He put through Patrick Bamford, but he dragged his shot wide. Leeds dominating these opening stages, but it's still 0-0.
Thank you, Michelle. Liverpool 1, Manchester City 1. We're in the 90th minute. Penalty shootout could be just a few minutes away. No extra time. So if it stays as it is, 1-1, it will go straight to a shootout here to decide the Community Shield. Last time these two sides met here at Wembley, 2016 League Cup final in Jurgen Klopp's first season. That went to a penalty shootout. If you remember, Willy Caballero turned out to be the hero with his saves, 3 of them in the shootout, as Manchester City won it. That also finished 1-1. Liverpool with Robertson. City with a better team in the first half. Liverpool have been the better in the second, but it's been entertaining. Foden now onto the field for De Bruyne. Gundogan, who's not had the best of times since he's come on. Foden exchanges passes with Gabriel Jesus. Keita put the challenge in. Foden went down, no free kick. So Liverpool with Shaqiri goes for an early ball. That's asking a lot of Salah, but Salah's at full tilt, and Salah does get to the ball before it rolls over the byline and knocks it out for a throw-in. 4 minutes of added time, Dion.
Yeah, I never thought he was going to get on the end of that one, Salah. Shaqiri just asked a little bit too much of him, but he got it. He got there and put it out for a throw-in. City are deep into their left-back spot, throw-in right next to the corner flag. Liverpool have penned them in and played better this second half. Liverpool, a bit more composure on the ball, looking a bit more confident.
And even though it is 1-1, we don't know who's going to win it. The staff are walking up the steps in front of us here, the stewards with their blue rope, ready for the presentation. Because it will follow if we don't see a late goal after the penalty shootout. City coming forward, Bernardo Silva trying to play it through for Sterling, but Gomez came across from right back. Liverpool were very much alive to that City break. Robertson's given the ball away, and now Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden lifts a ball through the middle for Sterling. Sterling with his back to goal, turns onto his right foot, in the D, forced wider, still Sterling going from the angle. His cross is blocked initially by Robertson, took all of the pace off the ball, and Liverpool were able to clear it out for a throw down the right.
Yeah, there was 3 seconds within that move from Sterling where he could have made any of those decisions better. He gets to the end of it and he makes the wrong decision. He could have taken the shot on, he should have taken the shot on. There was runs all around him, picked the wrong decision.
We are in the second minute of added time. Liverpool 1, Manchester City 1. The week after next we'll be off to Istanbul with Liverpool, incidentally, for the UEFA Super Cup match. Oh, Otamendi's missed his clearance. Salah takes it on. Salah into the box. It's blocked by Stones. Back to Salah, who heads it goalwards, and it's brilliantly cleared off the line by Kyle Walker. Or was the ball over the line? No, it wasn't. They are checking, and Walker, with what a clearance that was from Salah's follow-up. Walker threw himself at the ball that was bouncing in at waist height, possibly even higher, and Walker got there and an amazing kick cleared it up and over the crossbar.
Yeah, amazing athleticism from Walker. We're just watching it on the screens. He gets there, it's about a yard away from going in. He sprints 30-40 yards to save his team, keep his team in the game. Salah should have scored again.
Corner, however, for Liverpool. Shaqiri to take this. 1-1 the score. 5 Live in the World Service. Early drama in this new season. Shaqiri with the corner. It's gone deep, it's gone over everyone, but Salah is able to run away out towards the right-hand side, collect it, play a left-footed ball in, which has gone a long way and bounces right across the face of goal and beyond the far post, and we've now had 3 minutes of the 4 of added time.
Yeah, I think Liverpool have just got to make sure that they keep City in their half. If they do keep City penned in, they may get City to make a mistake and they may get one more chance.
Amazing, isn't it, Dion? You know, we've mentioned a couple of times the 11mm goal that was saved by John Stones last season, and here in this next meeting between the sides, the Van Dijk effort that came down on the line, and that one there from Walker, which was just about as acrobatic a clearance as you could ever see.
And if you can imagine Kyle Walker he's in 5th gear, he's sprinting towards his own goal, and he clears it, and he saves himself before hitting the net.
It was superbly athletic by the City right back. Liverpool 1, Manchester City 1. There's still time. Lallana bringing it forward. Salah gives it to Shaqiri. Left-footed shot from the angle is palmed away behind by Claudio Bravo, round his near post for another corner.
I think it's the story of the game. I think it's a story of the game for both teams. Lots and lots of chances, just not match sharp at the moment, both teams, when it comes to finishing.
Another chance, possibly a final chance. Shaqiri corner from the right-hand side for Liverpool. This one's headed away by Rodri. It comes out for Keita, but the final whistle goes, and Klopp and Guardiola turn to one another and put their arms around one another. And Klopp actually rubs Guardiola on the top of his head, and Guardiola rather playfully says, "Give over." We've got a penalty shootout to prepare for. So it is Liverpool 1, Manchester City 1. City the better team in the first half. Sterling scored. Liverpool the better team in the second. Joel Matip equalised, but it's been eventful. 1-1, penalty shootout to come. Steve Crossman.
And let's go straight to Edgbaston, Ellie.
And another wicket for England here. Tim Payne, the captain, bowled by Moeen Ali for 34, 409 for 7. And finally, Mark Ramprakash, Moeen gets a little bit out of this pitch.
Well, he'll be frustrated by his performance today, as have England been. But he's not been at his best. But certainly that was a good delivery. Tossed up outside off stump on a good length. Tim Payne, having been beaten the previous over in a close LBW shout, this time prodding forward, bit uncertainly, and classic piece of bowling turning through the gate.
England are into the tail at last, but it's a scant consolation. Australia lead by 324 runs, 414 for 7.
And let's go to Ashton Gate, get the latest in the Championship. Michelle Owen.
Yeah, remains Bristol City 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds United doing all the pressing in these opening 25 minutes. Patrick Bamford had the best chance when he was through on goal, but he dragged it wide. Bristol City struggling to get out of their own half at the moment as Pablo Hernandez turns and scores 25 yards out, and he makes it Bristol City 0, Leeds United 1. A curling left-footed shot into the top left-hand corner, and Hernandez gives Leeds the lead.
Fantastic timing, thank you, Michelle. Leeds United in front in their opening game of the new Championship season. We've got penalties to come here in the Community Shield. Liverpool and Manchester City players in their huddles as we await spot kicks. Let's go to Woburn, the final round of the Women's British Open. Ian Carter.
And another birdie for the 30-year-old American Lizette Salas, chasing her first major title. That's her 4th in the last 5 holes. It's come at the par 5 11th. It's taken her to 16 under par, and she's 2 shots clear of world number 1 Jin Yun Ko, who is playing with her, and they move to the 12th. Hinako Shibono, though, is not beaten yet. She's just birdied the 10th. She's at 14 under par and within 2 shots.
Full times from the Scottish Premiership today: Kilmarnock 1, Rangers 2 and Aberdeen 3, Hearts 2. In the Hungarian Grand Prix, Lewis Hamilton won, Max Verstappen second and Sebastian Vettel was third. Hamilton 62 points clear now in the drivers' standings with 9 races to go. Surely another title is on its way to Lewis Hamilton. In Super League, it finished London Broncos 28, Salford 58, and after extra time, Hull KR 27, Castleford 26. Right, we are nearly ready for a penalty shootout here at Wembley in the Community Shield. Virgil van Dijk is over talking to the referee and his assistants John Murray and Dion Dublin with me. Dion, is there nothing Virgil van Dijk can't do? I mean, he had a sweet half volley off the bar. He created the equaliser from a cross.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure. I know he's a long way away from me here, but is there any sweat on his brow? He just seems to, he said it many times, he's a Rolls Royce. He's got the brain of just a very good footballer. Not a defender at all. He can play anywhere on the pitch because he's that good.
I just want to throw this in now, John. We were talking about, who does this game mean most to, and is it a trophy and all that? It doesn't matter. It's been brilliant.
Yeah, really entertaining, hasn't it? And yeah, I think they've both looked rusty at times. And that's probably why you've seen actually quite a few errors, haven't we? Little mistakes here and there. Quite a number of players, Salah being the most obvious. One of those who, in the positions where you think this could be goal, it hasn't turned out to be a goal, but that's what you get at this stage of the season.
Yeah, I think in the 2/3 of the pitch, both defending thirds and both central thirds for both teams has been okay today. Their attacking thirds have just been a little bit weak in their finishing today. That will come with games and fitness and practice.
The cheers are because Virgil van Dijk has just intimated that he's won the toss, so the penalties, by the looks of it, will be taken in front of the Liverpool fans. Dion, I don't know if you heard the episode of that Peter Crouch podcast when Crouchy was talking about his first meeting with Doug Ellis, and Doug Ellis said that he created the bicycle kick. Kyle Walker has just created the toe punt bicycle kick clearance.
Yes, and what a clearance it was, by the way. And I must say, Doug Ellis told me the same story, so maybe he did invent the overhead kick.
He didn't invent the overhead bicycle toe punt kick, though. Kyle Walker's got that one all to himself, John.
I didn't notice it was a toe punt. It's actually a toe punt with the bicycle kick. Very good. Right, the teams are lining up then on the halfway line. Van Dijk and the man who finished the match as the Manchester City captain, Kyle Walker, shook hands. Referee Atkinson pointed to the Liverpool end, which is to our left. And there's a huge cheer went up from the Liverpool supporters behind the goal. They've brought all of their banners from Madrid and all of the other points around Europe where they successfully went last season. There's a red and white checkered flag being waved directly behind the goal. Looks as though it's Shaqiri who's going to take the first one, so it looks as though Liverpool will be taking their penalties first, Dion.
Yeah, I think today, if we're talking keepers, Bravo's made some really intelligent saves. He's looked sharp. He's made good decisions. Now it's down to the keepers to guess right or to guess left.
Well, he's a lovely striker of the ball, isn't he, Shaqiri? And full of confidence, small of stature. He's just chatting to referee Atkinson. The issue, of course, here with the penalty shootout, the goalkeepers mustn't move. They must keep 1 foot on the line under the new regulations. So Claudio Bravo will have received his instructions. This, the first penalty of the shootout to decide the 2019 Community Shield match here at Wembley. It's Shaqiri for Liverpool. Left-footed, sends Claudio Bravo the wrong way, and Liverpool are 1-0 up in the shootout.
Yeah, really composed. The ball was on the spot very, very early. No problem at all for Shaqiri.
Ilkay Gundogan is going to be the first Manchester City player who is certainly one who I feel has looked rusty since he came on as a substitute. He's being booed. They're trying to give him a hostile reception, the Liverpool supporters. Alisson in goal for Liverpool. Gundogan in no hurry here, which is very much the modern way, the way of preparing. It'll be a right foot penalty from Gundogan. Alisson leaps on his line and Gundogan scores, sending Alisson diving to his left the wrong way, and it's 1-1.
The only reason Gundogan wanted to take that penalty is because he knows he's not done anything in the minutes that he's got today. He wanted to give the team something, prove to the team that he can make a difference. Great penalty, bottom left-hand corner.
Next, Wijnaldum. who enhanced his hero status with those goals that he scored in the semi-final against Barcelona last season. Wijnaldum, Liverpool's number 5, is there now in position on the edge of the area, little steps to come up, right-footed, and it is saved by Claudio Bravo, diving to his right. It was a good height for him, and he was able to push it away as he fell, and it remains 1-1, and Liverpool have missed first.
I'm not even sure that the keeper had to dive too far to save this one. It was a poor penalty. The keeper did guess correctly, but he sort of had to put his arms back towards the goal.
Little Bernardo Silva was up there very quickly. Left-footed penalty, minimum of fuss, into the net. Clenched fist from the Portuguese. City have scored both of theirs, and they are 2-1 up in the shootout.
Yeah, if you were to give me one player to choose out of all these players that have graced the pitch today, it would have been Bernardo Silva. He's been outstanding yet again. Confidence in abundance.
It's Adam Lallana who's going to take the next penalty. One of the 5 substitutes who were brought on by Jurgen Klopp. Adam Lallana, very much a fringe figure last season because of his injuries. He arrives at the penalty spot, receives the ball from Martin Atkinson, places it down, a little step backwards, 3-4 steps, standing with his hands on his hips. Shortish run-up from Lallana. Here he comes, and he hits it low, bouncing into the bottom corner. And Liverpool make it 2-2 in the shootout, but they've taken 3 to City's 2.
Yeah, good penalty, Lallana. A little bit of a stutter. Goes in the corner. Not right in the corner, but just enough. Bravo stretching. Now Liverpool need Alisson to do something for them. It's the young lad, it's Foden, stepping up.
It's the 19-year-old Phil Foden, came on only for the final minutes of the match. Not sure how often he touched the ball in that time. Foden left-footed, sends Alisson the wrong way, and City have scored all 3 of their penalties. They lead 3-2.
Yeah, Foden, very, very confident. Doesn't go in the corner. His head's down, he knows where he's going to put it. Doesn't even look at the keeper, not going to change his mind.
Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain is next up for Liverpool. This is Liverpool's 4th penalty. Manchester City lead the shootout 3-2. Oxlade-Chamberlain, who returned only late last season after that long year out. And Oxlade-Chamberlain, right-footed with his penalty, waiting. Now, little steps, here he comes, right-footed, and he drives it with pace high, sending goalkeeper Claudio Bravo the wrong way.
Yeah, that is the best penalty so far. The Ox puts it top left, right in the top corner. Fantastic. You could have 2 keepers in, never would have saved it. Brilliant penalty.
It's young Zinchenko, the left-back, the 22-year-old Ukrainian, who is going to take the next one for Manchester City. It's 3-3. Liverpool have missed one of theirs, saved it was by Claudio Bravo. So Manchester City to make it 4-3. Zinchenko, a long run up here from an angle, left-footed. Here he comes now to strike it, and even though the goalkeeper went the right way, Alisson, and got a touch to it, the ball managed to find a way through. And it is 4-3 to Manchester City in the shootout.
Yeah, there was that little skip that you normally do as a penalty taker. If you take it and the keeper goes the right way, you think, please don't get anything on it. He did get something on it, Alisson, but it was enough power on the strike from Zinchenko to make it hit the back of the net.
Well, it is, to all intents and purposes, sudden death now. Even though these are the 5th penalties. City have scored all 4 of theirs. Wijnaldum was the only man to miss. And it's Mo Salah. Mo Salah had so many chances to score today. He sets off to his right, and then left-footed, sends a superb penalty high over the diving Claudio Bravo to his right, struck superbly. Actually, memories of the opening minutes in the Champions League final, the way that he dispatched that. It is 4-4.
Very convincing. Left-footed, curled it away from the keeper. Very, very good penalty, and I think Mo Salah needed that for this game.
So it's Gabriel Jesus who has a chance to win it for Manchester City. The last of the initial 10 penalties. City have scored all of theirs so far. Gabriel Jesus, who ended the Copa America final in tears, Here he is now, right-footed, a short run-up, a little false start. Here he comes, and he scores! And Manchester City start the season, as they did last season, by winning the Community Shield here at Wembley. They've beaten the European champions Liverpool in a penalty shootout. Gabriel Jesus is the man who delivered the final blow, and the City players run forward and surround him in sky blue shirts, and Manchester City can celebrate again. Same old City, starting the season as they ended last, winning at Wembley, and the silverware is theirs.
Manchester City players jumping on each other inside the penalty area, celebrating their victory. I saw a few City fans during the shootout with their hands over their eyes. They couldn't watch Dion Dublin. I mean, it's not supposed to mean anything.
Yes, exactly. I did say to you before, Steve, before the game, it's all about the players. This means a lot to the players. It's silverware. It's beating your biggest rivals at present and letting them know that you are still as good as you are. Some really good penalties in that shootout, but the first half was for City, second half was for Liverpool, and I think it did take a penalty shootout today to split them.
We always want to talk about what have we learned from any game. Doesn't matter if it's Premier League, FA Cup, Champions League, whatever. Have we learned from this game that these two are just incredibly close again?
Yeah, they are. And we spoke about it again, that their finishing hasn't been great. They will both get sharper, they will both get fitter, and they will be dominating this league again, I would imagine so, because they've got so much quality. But no, it's a good game today, very good game. Both teams went for it. Great turnout by the fans, another good occasion.
Can I just say, John Murray, I hate the stuttered run-up with a penalty that Gabriel Jesus did there.
He actually had a false start, didn't he? And then he stopped, and then he started again. And when he got there, though, lovely with his right instep, flick finish. Even though Alisson dived to his right, it had too much whip, didn't it? Too much whip and pace, and it was, as you say, I mean, City have scored 5 out of 5 penalties there, and they're all very good penalties. Yeah,
lots of confidence. Knowing with a penalty and having been there before in a situation like this, in a big arena, knowing what you're going to do when you've got the ball in your hands and you're walking to the penalty spot is so important. Right now, there's a lot of players waiting for the keeper to move. I just put the ball down, knew what I was going to do, and put it in the back of the net. And I think the City players knew exactly where they were going to put it before they even got the ball in their hands.
Zinchenko was the one, wasn't he? The penalty that he took, that Alisson, I think, actually got both hands too, but wasn't able to keep out. That was the moment.
Yeah, a good penalty is a penalty that hits the back of the net.
What's Guardiola doing on the pitch? Guardiola's gone to Van Dijk, and the two of them are having quite a little, it seems like a light-hearted exchange between the two of them.
Yeah, I think Klopp just went over to that little meeting and said, please get away from my centre-half. He's going nowhere.
I have to say as well, Jurgen Klopp has just been out applauding the Liverpool fans who were right behind the kicks in that shootout which Manchester City have won to lift the Community Shield. We'll bring you the presentation of the trophy as well. Let's get the latest now from Edgbaston, Ellie.
And Australia are 426 for 7, continuing to grind England's chances in this first Ashes test into the Edgbaston dirt. James Pattinson is on 14, Pat Cummins on 4. Earlier today we saw centuries from Matthew Wade and Steve Smith, his second century in the test match after 144 in the first innings, 142 in this second innings. Australia are 338 runs ahead, and we may see England batting again this evening.
Into the Championship, Bristol City, Leeds United. Michelle Owen.
Yes, it remains Bristol City 0, Leeds United 1, thanks to a fine strike from Pablo Hernandez. Edge of the box, opened up his body, and a fine left-footed strike into the top left-hand corner. A brilliant goal from him. Leeds United have been in top in this game. Bristol City trying to get forward more now. Just now Andreas Weimann got through on the right, but his cross was behind for Mara Giju. Bristol City 0, Leeds United 1.
And to Woburn, the final round of the Women's British Open, Ian Carter.
Lizette Salas, the leader, through the 12th hole in par figures to remain at 16 under par, but that spell around the turn of 4 birdies in 5 holes, putting her within touching distance potentially of a first major title. She's at 16 under par, 1 shot clear of Jin Young Ko, who's bidding for 3 majors in just the single year. The world number 1 with birdies at the 10th and the 12th to start the back 9. And Hinako Shibono still in it. She birdied the 10th, playing the 11th, the par 5, just 2 shots behind at 14 under par.
85058 at 5 Live Sport. What did you make of the Community Shield won by Manchester City on penalties after a 1-1 draw with Liverpool? Frederick says City were the better team in the first half, Liverpool the better team in the second. What have we really learned? Nothing. And Sal says, with that clearance, Kyle Walker has definitely been taking hamstring flexibility seriously during pre-season. Steve is a Man City fan, says 1 trophy down, 4 more to go. Dion Dublin, not Mo Salah's day, really, was it? I mean, he hit the post a couple of times. How he's not on the score sheet?
Yeah, I know. It's 6 or 7 good chances. If you're talking about Mo Salah, they're good chances. He is that good. You'd expect him to at least put one of them in. He was just off it today. Bad day at the office for him. Very, very good penalty, may I say. But during that 95 minutes, he was just not himself. But he will get sharper. Like I said, they'll all get sharper, Steve. They'll all be better come the Premier League starting next week.
Do strikers ever try and find and practice a new finish? Because the amount of times Salah got the ball in a position where we're used to seeing him try and bend it in the far corner and he whacked it low towards the knee. He seemed to do it every time. Yeah, maybe again when you know each other so well in regards to players and you play against each other so much and the keeper may know where you put it normally, you've got to try and find another way to finish. And I think maybe because he was in such a similar position so many times, he's thinking, do I go for the curler? No, he went to the near post. But he went to the near post every single time. Got it wrong. A couple of good saves from Claudio Bravo. But again, creating chances for himself as well. So if you can keep creating chances, you will score goals. John Murray, I just want to say as well, and I know it's not something which is particularly always that palatable, the subject of VAR, but it was excellent today, wasn't it? It didn't interfere with the game at all.
Funny enough, I think that very often games I've seen Martin Atkinson referee, he is, I think, as the on-field referee, has in the matches that I've seen live, tended to handle it as well as anyone. And I think it is an interesting point about how it's used, this whole issue of whether the referee goes to the pitch side screen or not. And I know that Mike Riley here in this country is quite adamant that the way to do it is for the VAR official, on this occasion today Anthony Taylor, to have a direct link and for them to discuss things and only in extremis go and look at the screen on the side of the pitch. I just think that this is a better way to do it. Yeah, and I think the other thing is, Dion, they've correctly sort of realised what we as sort of British fans, if you like, want to see. If this was Major League Soccer, the whole VAR thing is like an added area of colour or excitement or whatever. Here, most people want it, they just don't really want to see it. Yeah, don't interfere, don't let VAR interfere with the game itself. It's all about getting the decision made, getting the right decision made and moving on with the game. And the only decision really that you could say perhaps was controversial was the Joe Gomez tackle on David Silva that sent Pep Guardiola into an absolute frenzy. We never got an official VAR check on the screen here, but it wouldn't surprise me if they did have a look at it. Pep Guardiola, who I just mentioned there, seemed to calm down much more in the second half. He's currently ambling in his tan chinos and his white t-shirt over to the halfway line. Liverpool players and Manchester City players waiting to receive their medals. And as we speak, John, Liverpool are on their way. Yeah, Liverpool's players are going to come up the steps to receive their runners-up medals, and they set off between the Liverpool supporters to begin with, so that's over the far side of the tunnel from where we watch here, and then they can begin to prepare in earnest for the start of this new Premier League season, which will begin for Liverpool on Friday night ahead of everyone else against newly promoted Norwich City at Anfield. That is a 5 Live commentary match. Martin Atkinson, who I just mentioned, is just gathering with his officials here to my left, having received their medals, and in the middle tier just steps forward with a little black square box with his medal in it, and off down the steps now. But yeah, that game, Liverpool-Norwich, is the first of our, well, over 140 Premier League commentaries on 5 Live this season. Saturday night we'll also have, new for this season, Alistair Bruce Ball and Chris Sutton presenting 606. And Ali's asked me to mention that they are this season doing a Fantasy 606 podcast, and the first episode of that will be released on Thursday. Ali Bruce Ball and Chris Sutton, so that is something new as well for the start of the new season. So Robbie Savage and co will be presenting 606 on a Sunday from next weekend, and Ali and Chris with sudden death and all of the calls on a Saturday night this season, so that's something to look forward to. But Jurgen Klopp is up with his Liverpool team at the moment and receiving their medals, and the Manchester City players are waiting down below. We know, don't we, because he said it so often, that Pep Guardiola, very much considers this to be a trophy that has to be counted. Hence, he refers to a quadruple last season rather than the treble that is more normally said. And so he, I'm sure, will be making the point that that is very much the first trophy of the season won today.
I just wonder as well, Dion Dublin, how much this will mean to Gabriel Jesus, because we talked about the players as Liverpool players and manager just walked down to our left-hand side about 5 yards away. You could probably hear some of the Liverpool fans cheering, but we talked about the importance of keeping the players who might not start every game happy. That's a nice memory for Jesus to kick off the season. It's the kind of thing that you think, look, doesn't matter if I don't play every week, I'm going to get my moments. Yeah, he'll get his moments, he'll get his time on the pitch. As long as you affect football matches, Steve, when you're asked to do your job, you will always get a bit of time. It's all about the personality of the individual. Can he handle not playing the minutes that he thinks he deserves and being in and around a very successful side? That's all down to him. Gabriel Jesus, who scored the winning penalty, and the man, I suppose, in his position, if you like, for Liverpool. Divock Origi wasn't really able to take the game by the scruff of the neck in the same way. It's half-time in the Championship. Bristol City 0, Leeds United 1. So we will have more on the second half of that game. Michelle Owen is there for us right now here at Wembley Stadium. The Manchester City players are making their way up the steps to receive their medals, winners of the Community Shield.
Yes, they are, and as we've mentioned a couple of times, walking up the steps in these one-off shirts that they're wearing today to mark the start of City's 125th season since the club changed its name and became Manchester City way back in the 1890s, 1894. So it is the plain, it's very much a throwback, Dion, isn't it? The plain shirt, no sponsors logo on it, round white necks, the Manchester City badge on it, and up the steps they come. Yeah, they look pretty cool, they do. You're absolutely right. Back in the day, you know what, I think what they're thinking, they're very clever, these marketing people. I think it would look very nice with a pair of jeans, they're thinking. That's what they're thinking. Very nice with a pair of jeans. I'm sure that's never crossed their mind. Never in this. You've come up with a brilliant idea there. Be interesting to see. I presume it'll be David Silva who collects the trophy, but I think they had three captains. When Silva went off, David Silva, he gave the armband to Kevin De Bruyne, and then eventually it ended up on the arm of Kyle Walker, and I think he was captain, wasn't he, when he produced that brilliant clearance, Kyle Walker. So I just sort of have a feeling that it might be David Silva, because you never know how a season is going to pan out. We're expecting Manchester City to win, to be serial winners again this season, but it is David Silva's last season. That has been announced. He'll be leaving City at the end of this new campaign, and we will see if he is the one who's given the trophy. That famous shield, it's been contested, the Community Shield, the Charity Shield as it was since back in 1959. The distinctive silver shield on the wooden background. It's been placed there by a member of the Royal Marines, and it's standing proudly up on the middle tier above where we are, so they're out of our sights now, so we're having to trust the pictures that we see. Mike Summerby is up there, that Manchester City great, who will, I think, be the one who hands over the trophy to whoever the captain is. John Stones is close to the trophy, and Ray Clements is up there as well, and he's leaning across and shaking hands with the Manchester City players. It is David Silva who's at the back of the line, De Bruyne in front of him. Pep Guardiola hasn't gone up, he's actually watching from down below, and any moment now, once they've received all of their medals, that shield will be lifted and handed to, and it is David Silva who's being ushered forward by Kevin De Bruyne. Manchester City winning again in 2019. They retained the Carabao Cup, they retained the Premier League, and here at Wembley in August they have retained the Community Shield, and it is lifted up by David Silva, who's given a little bit of help by Sergio Aguero, I noticed, who didn't even get onto the field. And they now pass it down the line. First to Claudio Bravo, who had a very good afternoon, the returning veteran 36-year-old Manchester City goalkeeper. And we see now where we are down on the lower tier, all of the silver ticker tape falling through the sky and down into the Manchester City fans below, who can celebrate a trophy inside Wembley Stadium yet again. Manchester City starting the season as the winners of the Community Shield, winning it on penalties here against European champions Liverpool after the 1-1 draw in the 90 minutes, Steve.
I'm not surprised, Dion Dublin, that David Silva needed a bit of a hand there. It looks like a heavy trophy. He's only a little lad.
He's got to get in the weight room. He's going to be picking up trophies, every season. I think he's got to start getting in the weight.
That sort of suggests to me that when this vote takes place among the City players, that it'll be David Silva and Aguero who are the two front runners in the stakes to become the new club captain.
Club captain and captain, maybe on the pitch captain, maybe club captain as well. But why not? Two very good City players, very effective, very well respected as well. It's a familiar sight. We'll be seeing this a lot more over the next 2 or 3 seasons. I think City getting winners' medals and trophies, and they're just getting better and better.
Leroy Sané, by the way, was okay. Remember, he was injured very early on in the piece, but he had his purple sweatshirt on and he was up there receiving his medal and seemed to be walking quite well. They're just gathering now, the City players. When you stand on the left-hand side of our commentary box here, you can look just through the window and there they all are. Raheem Sterling, scorer of the goal, and it's Gundogan who's actually walking past me, and it's Ilkay Gundogan who's going to be given the honour of carrying the shield down the steps. Ederson following on behind him, Gabriel Jesus and Sterling deep in conversation with Bernardo Silva behind them. Rodrigo, it says on the back of his shirt, settled in very well in the first half, the new signing, the only new signing we saw on the field today.
Yeah, he looked well. He really did, looked composed, wanted the ball under pressure, made things happen. Didn't get as much ball in the second half, may I say, because Liverpool did up their game. But yeah, looks well. Looks a big, strong, imposing figure for City.
I think David Silva would be a very, very popular captain amongst Manchester City fans, wouldn't he?
Yeah, and why wouldn't he be? He's not. I wouldn't imagine he's a shouter and a screamer, but he just very much a David Beckham captain. What I mean by that, he would lead by his actions. He's such a good footballer that the players in and around him would just.